That's so exciting, and it's so amazingly attractive.
Yeah, you're not laughing now, are you?
Yeah, boy. We're not laughing now, are you? But something's definitely wrong. If I look like I've shaved my head, I haven't. I've just had the most hideous week of my life. I'm moving out of this pad, can't afford it, but also moving in with my missus, so lovely. That's the 23rd of this month. It'll be amazing. I've got a little area that's like a YouTube, like not all this lark, not like a table growing out my head, which will be a little bit of a shame, but I'm going to up my game. I'm going to do these things, right? Like, so sometimes during the day when I'm working or when I'm writing, I'll just think of something that is like a minute or 2 minutes long. And it's not a YouTube short, but I can make one thumbnail for it, call it something, I don't know, like a Dangerfield slap or something. And then I can, you know, it doesn't take long to make. I can just set up OBS and just go, oh, I just thought, have you ever seen one of those people that's got like someone else's leg growing out of their uska? And that's it. I just have to put that into the editor, bosh at the front, bosh at the end, upload it, done. There'll be better content than have you ever seen someone with someone else's leg growing out of their ushka? But, so that's a thing. I've got a new microphone coming at last, 12 years old, gives me electric shocks, doesn't actually work. Can you tell me, I mean, there's something wrong. There's 25 people in here. That ain't right. That ain't right. I mean, it's Friday evening. The times have changed a little bit, but... And I get emails all the time from Scrubs saying I don't get notified. Like, I notify 3 people now manually. Like, I email them, I'm streaming in half hour. It's bizarre. Anglo was the first. He said, if you could notify me, it'd help. And then a couple of other people mentioned it to me. It's no drama. I'm happy to notify anyone who feels like they need it if YouTube isn't helping. But if it looks like I shaved my head, I literally got up, worked, finished work. I wrapped a couple of bits of salami and a bit of cheese, ate that. That's going to keep me going for the next hour or two. And I just thought, look at your hair. So I just done the old under the tap. So during this stream, as my hair dries, and of course I've got the old Apocalypse now above me, it might slowly start changing shape. Who knows? It could be a Kafkaesque kind of transformation. Talking of Kafkaesque transformations, if you're not already subscribed to my Substack, top link in the description, totally free. The story I'm writing at the moment is about a bum, like literally a bum fanny. You know, we had the bum. Well, we don't know if it's a bum fanny because, well, at the moment, we don't know it doesn't know what's going on at the other end. It's got 2 eyes in its anus, but they're fighting for dominance. And so, you know, they call it double vision, but as I say in the story, it's actually half vision because you can't see anything. Now, when you're trying to negotiate your way through the London Underground, when you've only just realised you're actually a bum, no torso, arms, legs, just a bum. It's a comedy, but there's some brutal stuff in there. So it's not a comedy, but it's also not, you know, genres like that in literature. It's literary fiction. There you go. Bosh. We've already got a word for it. But that, I'm going to do this stream and then I'm going to get onto that. Now, can you tell me, my beautiful Scrubs, can you hear that music? Hello, Leon. What an absolute pleasure. 42's here as well. Look at that. Him telling me to balance it. Oh, I love him. He's lovely. Now, 42, are you called 42? Is it something to do with a British Ulster man, or is it to do with Douglas Adams? Or is it a bit of both? I've never asked you, I don't think. Or, probably more likely, I've never remembered the answer. Mouse Cat's on the firm as well. Lovely message from Mouse Cat the other day. Pags, yep, I'm definitely getting out there. Oh, no way. You've been showing yourself around these parts plenty of times lately. Nice to see you back. People, can you hear that music? You know, sometimes there's a monsoon here and I say, I say, I'm sorry I'm shouting, but I can't hear myself think, and you lot say I can't hear it. But there's a new club. It is not Buffalo Soldier. Hello, John. Good to see you. Hello, Kim. Good Lord. Hello, Grego. Yeah, that music starts at about 7 o'clock and goes on to about 3 in the morning. Oh, cool. Speaking of which, bollocks. Hang on. Oh, here it is. Sorry, excuse me. I took a punt. Only like 30 quid's worth. But it's still 30 quid. And it looks like it might be time to sell that. That's not looking good. What's the overall day? That's not so bad. We can cope with that. Right. Thank you for all the amazing. I'm not hello 322. You can't hear it. That's all right. So it's not here. So it's not ruining the stream. That's great. Hello, Brian. How are you, son? Be out later. Yeah, music is annoying. What drives me mad about music? When I go out, like I rarely go out and drinking or anything. Like, I mean, really rarely. But this has been me since the only time I ever went to raves or anything like that was to sell narcotics. Glastonbury was a bit different because half of Dartford was there, and it was just the annual Dartford Festival at Glastonbury. But Glastonbury, of course, you can chat with people. You know, this is why your members clubs, you know, this is why cultured people, and, you know, it's considered a bit snobby to say that. No, they're cultured. Because when they go out of a weekend or whenever, they want to talk to each other. They want to learn stuff. They want to debate stuff. You know, the art of conversation. It used to be a thing. The British were known for it. English. But, you know, I can hear that music in that nightclub that's just over there. When I'm here, when I'm not streaming, I'll put these in and listen to something else and I can't hear it. But imagine being in there. What do? You go up to someone. You all right? What? No, I said, are you all right? I'm white. No, you're, well, sort of, I suppose. No, you're not. You're Cambodian. What? You want to go to the Odeon? That was terrible. Cut me some slack. I've had one of the worst weeks, not of my life, but it's difficult. Things are difficult. Speaking about things are difficult, right? Let's get this grift on. You've got super chats at the bottom of the YouTube chat. You've got entropy at the top of the YouTube chat, and I want to thank Nyam, who is a scrub who came out here. We had a couple of cups of tea together. Lovely lady. She's just asked me if I can help out someone who's in Phnom Penh who's having a bit of trouble, but I just simply haven't got the time or the funds. You know, he's some barang that's come out here, got himself into some kind of narcotic problems, and I do help people. That's how I met Niam. I don't know how it's pronounced. You know, Slane's missus in the Slane 2000 AD. If anyone can do a phonetic of it, that'll be handy. It ain't a go-go bar, no. It's just a nightclub. Hello, James, LSDJ. Hello, Grego. Can you hear it, Mouse Cat? It's weird how some people can hear it and some people can't. I do apologise. You know, I nearly didn't stream, but come on, it's Friday night. I haven't streamed all week. It's got to be done. Douglas Adams, there you go. And the world does not treat men like people, so I took a number for a name. Oh, you don't stop, dear 42. You're on it. You don't stop. 42 is doing something quite remarkable. And we all know, well, most of us do, that 42's had a life of actually doing things. See, this is one of the things that frustrates me about people who black pill themselves on a daily basis. Are you doing something about it? If you are, great. If you're not, forget about it, because it doesn't help. It just ruins your life. Make a good life for yourself as best you can. That battle for resources, which is and always will be existence, unless, of course, the commies get into America and then we're in real trouble globally. Yeah, it'll be it in a weird way. in a weird way. And I did anyone hear the Vart? See, here's a weird thing. You can hear dance music, but that was a blatant Vart there. So anyway, thank you for the Vart reminder. You've got Super Chat at the bottom, you've got Entropy at the top, but you've got that QR code. If you put your camera over that, you'll get a link on your phone. You click it, and you get a video reply from me. It's not an automated one. I'll do it special for you. After the stream, I'll do it. Also, that one takes the least money from me by a considerable amount as well. So that's the grift out of the way. Someone just got the ball rolling. Absolutely lovely. Leon. Well, Niam had already got the ball rolling in Entropy. This is what she said. She dropped the first one in and she said, "You are great. Thank you, Niam." And then the second one, she said, "UPS." Or is that UPS or UPS? Who cares? She's a lovely lady. But that's how I first got to know her. The Woodlander, of all people, bless him, he got hold of me and he said, "There's a woman out in," well, I don't want to tell the full story, but he asked if there was anything I could do. And I ended up meeting up with her and we email each other occasionally. Vartington, the second Vart. I'm only human, people. And I'm a human struggling for filthy lucre at the moment. So those early Varts, fill me with joy. You'll get a better and longer stream. That's human, isn't it? That's just human. Anyone who says otherwise is lying. Anyone who says otherwise is lying. Right. So Leon said firework night here. That's why the numbers are low. But we've picked up to 65. Maybe the fireworks are kind of stopping now. I tell you what. I used to go to Blackheath for the fireworks. They were the best show in London. You know, we used to go out there as kids. It was only up the A2 from my old man. Get a bit of candy floss, you know, have some sparklers. And the fireworks were amazing. Then drive home in the Morris 1000 van with the crank handle. And can you hear that racket? How do they don't talk to each other because society doesn't want them to talk to each other, doesn't want them to exchange ideas. That's the media's job. It's the media's job to fill them with ideas. Don't let them. If they are going to congregate together on Friday nights when we haven't got them working and Saturday nights when we haven't got them working, you know, fill them full of intoxicants so they don't know their own names and make it impossible for them to share ideas. How to destroy the West. And you know, I always say it, along with feminism, along with the welfare state, along with mass immigration, alcohol has devastated the West. But, you know, that is the architecture of how culture destroys itself, how it destroys civilizations. You know, look at the old boozers. I remember as a kid, kids used to be allowed in boozers. Oh, no. You know, parents didn't go, "Here, have a vodka, son." Well, maybe one did. Maybe at Christmas I had a beer when I was 7. But, you know, you'd have the garden out the back and the kids would all be out there. And even the working men's clubs. I was like a pot boy in a working men's club, you know, just collecting glasses, cleaning up a bit here and there. And topping up all the bottles under the bar, like the Britvic and all that. And people would be in there. There'd be a little bit of music in the background, but in the background, and people would talk to each other. They'd talk to each other. Working class people would talk to each other about politics and religion and things that mattered, and government and taxes and elections. And that's just not a thing anymore. But you go to any of those members clubs, they don't play music. I haven't been to any of them for years now, but the Groucho Club, Soho House, the Met Bar's a bit musical. The Met Bar's a bit of a musical. You walk in and go, "I'd like a drink, sir." And the barman says, "We don't sell drinks to tramps." Yeah, so the Met Bar's a bit of a musical. But what people do is talk. You know, that's why the French house in Soho is a lovely little place. And I mean lovely. You know, downstairs you get about 25 people in there. But you talk and you learn. And the young people don't have that experience anymore. They listen to just... I mean, this DJ occasionally just goes, yeah, fucking music, yeah, fucking music, yeah, move. And these people are seen as idols. What? Are you hearing the farts, people? I will catch up with those farts, but are you hearing them? Oh, my new microphone is coming. I told you that, didn't I? Because of the electric shocks and the fact that it doesn't work. Pizzle's on the firm. How are you, son? Otto's on the firm. Hello, mate. AI Robot 3 says artificial intelligence is a personal assistant for activists, for concocting plans, research, lots of things. Yeah, I think AI is just a tool, isn't it? It's a tool. It can be used for good and evil, like most tools. 42 says 100% accept it or try to change it. Being in between will send you mad. You actually put it better than me. Now, I apologise about being surprised about that. But it's true. It's so important. You know, all those black pills. You know, I've done my work. People go, you don't talk about politics much anymore. You know, you don't talk about nationalism anymore. You've heard everything I've got to say about it. I believe in the nation state. I believe in ethnicities and nation states. I'm against globalism and I'm against multiculturalism. How many times and how many different ways can I say that? I can use different bits of information to prove it to you and make you more unhappy. But I've done it. I've done that. That part of my life is done. You know, I want to make this community happy. I want to make this community feel like they're not alone. They're not having to go to rooms where it just goes poof, 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 poof. You know, I know you chatting. I was half hour late for my stream last week. Fell asleep, didn't I? Before the stream. Rags rung me up. What a demonstration of a great community. And even when I thanked Rags afterwards, well, he said, well, John Palmer called him. So imagine that. Set up a stream. I sat down here and thought, I'll have a little nap. I've got an hour. That little nap, because I'm working every hour God sends me, turned into a sleep. And then John Palmer, correct me if I'm wrong here, John, but this is what Rags said. John Palmer contacts Rags. Rags contacts me and I wake up and the stream goes and the community is still there. They sat for 30 minutes, all you lot talking amongst yourselves. I'm all right with that. It was like when I was a comedian. When you're a comedian, right? So you go out there, you know, I used to improvise most of the time or sometimes tell a story that I knew, like I do on here sometimes, but improvise and exaggerate or embellish, whatever. But sometimes it would just be all crowd work. You'd go in there and someone would say something and I'd do 45 minutes with this bloke because he's gold dust and it's everyone's cracking up, including him. Now, it's not about my ego. I'm not there. No, listen to my jokes, people. Listen to my stories. No, these people have had an hard day's work. They've jumped on public transport, which isn't nice in London. It's hideous and dangerous. And they've paid their £10 to get in. They want to laugh. There's no such thing as a bad audience either. The effort people have made to come to a comedy club, if you have a bad night, that's on you. There's no way they're sitting there going, I ain't laughing. They want to laugh. They want to help you. But if I get heckled and I play ball with him and he plays ball with me or she or whoever, I'll do 45 minutes. If the crowd are laughing, I'm fine with that. But I've seen comedians get people to take them out or whatever, or just go, anyway, look, I've got a show to do. It's not about you. You're there to make people laugh. And if they're laughing, stick with it. I don't care if you don't hear my stories. I just want you to laugh. That was my job. Funny old game, innit, life? That's a great call, though, 42. Great stuff. Right, so we've done Leon's. Thanks for that, mate. Kim has said memento mori. Very kind. Keep the spirits going. Mouse Cat drops an air and Senna, you lovely beauty. Strangely enough, nightclubs in the UK are dying on their arse right now. That is interesting. I mean, people are skin. I know that from business. You know, the amount of work we've been doing, my boss, fucking hell, Freudian slip there. My business partner, he lost. Vartation has occurred. He lost half our traffic in both our shops. He changed the theme of the shops, you know, made them look different. But he didn't realise that would lose all the metadata. And we went in our American shop, we went from 58,000 visitors a month to 26, more than half, already in a challenging market. I was fuming. I still am, but what are you going to do? You know, you have to dust yourself down, pick yourself up. And that's why I'm talking about doing those little YouTubes, little tidbits, little snippets. I might call them Dangerfield snippets, because I might end up full-time YouTubing and writing. But I think I'm slightly more commercial as a YouTuber than I am a writer. Well, most of you have read my writing, and bless you if you have, because, well, if you haven't, top link in the description, Substack, go and check them out. There's 35 shorts over there. But please, the people who read them, look out for Bum. I'm going to try and finish it tonight, and I'm going to tell you something in a minute about it. No way is A1 AI robot, I never know whether it's one or AI, you told me once, has dropped in 14 Canadian dollars. You should be using AI all the time. I do. I am. I tell everyone I've made so many AI videos, but mate, they don't like it. So I suppose it is AI robot. My business is using AI on nearly every aspect of the business. Don't worry about that. I'm all over it. You should be using AI all the time. Also, there are tons of tricks for small accounts on X to get exposure. Copy and pasting posts, screenshots. I torrently flooded Reform MP posts. Lee banned me. I don't know who Lee is. But yeah, don't worry about that, mate. I'm on it. Thanks for the donation and the support. Much appreciated. A nice one for that, Mouse Cat. That's interesting. I'm going to look into those numbers. I was talking on this stream just last week about making blog posts by transcribing YouTube videos and then using ChatGPT to turn that into a blog with value propositions, with call to actions, with network, with building a network to other blogs, because Google really likes that. One of them used to take me 5-6 hours. I've done 6 in about an hour the other week, and they're better. Because ChatGPT knows what a good content marketing blog is. It knows what it is. How does it? Because it's read millions and it's seen what ones have performed the best. And so it bases its versions on those. You can't really beat that. Yeah, man, it's interesting times. I mean, I won't go on about AI. I know a lot of people don't like me talking about it, but the artificial intelligence industrial revolution has already happened, people. We're already in it. It's not a question of, it's not like the dot-com bubble. Everyone keeps saying, it's like the dot-com bubble. It's nothing like the dot-com bubble. It's a completely different situation. But it's a revolution. It's an industrial, and it's industry. It's an industrial revolution that's already happened, and the speed that it happened has just blown my mind. Absolutely blown my mind. Anyway, this is a calling show. Packer, is Packer about? Well, I shouldn't ask Packer if he's about, because if he's not, he's not. But nice one for that AI robot. Cheers, Mousecat. Cheers, Kim. Cheers, Leon. and Nyam in AI Robot. I should really get that. I'll get that one up as well, so at least I can thank you. But I'll make the videos after the stream. But I'll get it up on the screen just in case anyone wants to use that one. Right. There's something I want to show you. Now, you all know my thoughts on psychiatry and mental illness and all that. Now, regardless of what you think about it, hello, Vincent. Nice to see thee. Is Wolfie in? Is he, Pizzle? Hello, Charlie. Hello, Henry. How are you, Pizzle? How are you getting on? Larry of the Void. Are you new in these parts or are you a lurker? No way is Kip a sniffer on the firm. Amazing. $42, I'll talk to you about that because you're missing a trick, mate. You're missing a trick. Don't let the left get the best weapons. Don't let, you know, why make yourself weaker? But we'll discuss that maybe on a stream. We got 2 streams that we still haven't done, haven't we? Kipper Sniffer says pubs are wank now. I'm not coughing up. No, they used to be lovely places where communities gathered to find out what was going on and maintain themselves. Larry of the Void's mother met his father collecting glasses in the Working Man's Club. Not the one in Dartford. No one met anyone in there. There you go. There you go. Look, he's on fire. 42 tonight. Good Lord. You're not hearing the Varts. What a shame. Well, when I get my new, I've got new speakers and new headphones coming. They're on. They were sent today from England, so could be anything up to 2 weeks, could be a week. And that will be probably my last parcel from England because I do it on the sly. When work needs to send me a couple of tools, prototypes and that to look at, I buy loads of other things that I can't get in Cambodia and stick them in the parcel. But the parcel that was originally 3 locks and a set of lockpicks is now about that big, and it went from $7.99 to 110 quid. And we just can't afford that anymore. I laugh, but my life's going down the pan very, very rapidly. Me too, Otto. Me too. Even on the old Jack and Jills, I couldn't stand them. I couldn't stand Jack and Jills either, to be honest with you. Give me some sulfate. Get me on the fucking crack. Hello, John. Don't do drugs, people. Hello, John. Hello, Ellie. Pubs have been deliberately strangled off. Tony Blair shifting the traditional opening times. People change the routine for many, and then a smoking ban. Absolutely. On the estate that I grew up on, which is the oldest one in Dartford, the heart of art did come. Very encouraging, people. Very encouraging. Thank you. I really appreciate the support. More now than ever. This is harder than the Dollar Drive. Do you remember the Dollar Drive? Good days. They're all terrace houses, right? They're all blocks on the estate. And they're all all the houses are 13 foot wide. But every street has got one house that's about 40 foot wide. And that used to be a boozer. Every street on the estate has got one house that used to be the pub for that house, the public house. Why? Because people couldn't afford to keep their house warm. But if everyone went to the boozer and bought beers and maybe some snacks, they'd have a nice big log fire in there and everyone could keep warm at night. And all that's gone. What a terrible shame. It may come back, but I see it as a generational thing. It ain't round the corner. Have I said hello, Pags? Pubic house, more like it. I've been to a few of those in my time, son. I remember I was sitting down with this Thai Madam Asan. That's the name of the madam, the woman who runs the place of easy sensual leisure. Vance. Oh, very kind people. Thanks for the support. I will read them out in a minute. I'll just finish this story you've heard 100 times before. And I'd spent the night with her, and in the morning she woke up at the crack of dawn. Not that dawn, because that would be ridiculous. But she took a load of towels out of the washing machine. And these towels are like flannels, essentially. Remember the old flannels? I don't know if they're a thing anymore. I think they might have been a working class thing. But, excuse me. Right, hang on. Sorry, people. I've just got to do something or I'm in real trouble. No. No. Sorry about this. That'll do. Right, is that done? I was doing a snidey little bit of day trading, trying to make about 20 quid. Actually lost 5. Stock market's been crazy, hasn't they? Good Lord. Anyway, so she pulls all these towels out of the tumble dryer and she starts folding them. Right? I said, do you want to handle them? There's about like 200 of them. She went, yeah. So we're sitting down there and I really love this girl. And we're folding these things. And I suddenly said, what are these? Because when you go into a Thai massage parlor, you go in, they put a big towel over the 1-inch thick mattress. You lay on that. And then when I said to her, what are these? She just looked at me with like a grin, a very telling grin. And I said, am I folding spunk rags? She just absolutely cracked up. And I realized, because in some of the massage parlors, when you're finished, they get out a wet wipe, clean you up, lovely jubbly. But some of them don't want to be spending money on wet wipes, so they've got flannels. So every one of those flannels I was folding probably had the spunk of 1,000 men on it. Over the hills with spunk of 1,000 men. You've got to give it to me for that. Name that song. Pags is going to know, isn't he? Ooh-ay, 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 over the hills with spunk of 1,000 men. Yeah, I stopped folding then, Pizzle. I stopped folding then. Right. Packer, are you in here? Can you let me know? While we're waiting for Picard, what's going on here? Mousecat's dropped a score on the door. Nice one, Mousecat. Hoi to that. Figures from the Nighttime Industries Association show a dramatic decline. This is what you were just talking about, nightclubs. Okay. Figures. So, what has occurred again, sir? Mousecat just said that nightclubs ain't performing well in the UK. And I said, I'll have to look into that. And bless him, not only has he supported the channel, which him and his missus have done for years, very generously, amazing. Lovely people. Oh, and tell your missus that big parcel, Mousecat, I mean, she might be there listening. Hello, Mrs. Meehan, if you are. That parcel and those 20-odd Angel Delights or whatever it is, they're in that. So I know it was a long time ago you sent them, but I'll have that within 1 or 2 weeks and I'll ping you an email once I've put on 20 kilo, having a whole Angel Delight to myself, if not 2 a day. But I love it. So anyway, so he's done the research for me. Figures from the Nighttime Industries Association, NTIA, show a dramatic decline in venue numbers, with 67 nightclubs shut in the first quarter of 2024, which averages to approximately 5 closures a week. And I'll tell you why as well. Thank you, Mousecat, for the information and the support. I'm not going to say it, But do you reckon there's another reason why nightclubs might be closing down? I do. I absolutely do. I mean, they're hostile places anyway. But when you've got loads of people in your town, young men who have got no skills, can't work, don't want to work, sit around with nothing to do all day, you just don't want to be there. Over here, I've told you this before, but it bears repeating. Over here, sometimes you'll be in a girly bar, 15, 20 girls and like 4 blokes. Anyone who's been to Cambodia will tell you that. 4 European people. And you'll get some other people come in, and the Khmer people don't really like them. Now, I'm not, for obvious reasons, I'm not casting a judgment on that, but the Khmer people that I've met, on the whole, don't like a certain ethnicity of people. And what they do, they turn the music off. Well, first of all, they start getting treated badly by the people who've just arrived. They suck their teeth at them, and they just change the music. You can change the music. They just play YouTube, but you just ask. You say, "Can I put something else on?" And they're like, "Ba ba ba." Well, they're women, so they say, "Ja ja ja." And then they just start ordering people around like they're slaves. You know, these people are getting $6 for their 12-hour shift, and they're like, "Give me a drink, do this, do that." And then they sneer at them when it's served up as if, what the fuck's that? Anyway, what I've witnessed on half a dozen occasions, they turn the music off, the lights come up, and the main woman behind the bar says, "Okay, we're closing now. Can you finish your drinks, please?" And everyone finishes their drinks and leaves. And anyone in the know just walks around the block a couple of times and then goes back in there, and it all starts up again. That's their way of dealing with a situation they don't like in their own country. Because of the platform and because of the way things are at the moment, I can't say what I think about that. I'm just telling you that I've seen that happen countless times over here. And when I ask them why they don't like them, there's some very interesting answers that I've heard reflected in other conversations on the internet and in person. So I would suggest, and Vart, did you ask me something? I will have to look into it, because at the moment it's just opinion, but I would suggest something like that has contributed to 1 in 5 nightclubs in the UK closing down every week. Just a suggestion. JP, check. Keeps telling me my word's banned. What you're trying to write? You're trying to write in a comment, and it's saying you can't use that word. I haven't got many. I've only got. I think I even let Gusset come back. That's not me, John. Thank you, John, for that donation, and thank you for this one. I don't like Bald and Bankrupt. There's too many people on. I like him, but there's too many channels on YouTube now telling people to come to Cambodia, and I want them to stay the fuck out. Now, thankfully, I'm moving out into the provinces, and that's a bit of an harder life. So if you do come, stay in the city, because I want my nice, quiet, palm tree horizon, nice people, easy life. Sit there writing, girlfriend making me food, a few chickens, maybe a couple of pigs. Yeah, please don't turn Cambodia into Thailand. That's what Thailand's for. And don't get me wrong, I love Thailand, but I don't want to live there. You don't marry your mistress, do you? And that's what Thailand's for. John Palmer says this: Bald and Bankrupt. Vartation again. Bald and Bankrupt in China told the local he from England. The Chinese guy instantly said, "Lots of crime and immigration. Bad place now. Yay, diversity." Yeah, I've got a mate who lives in Shanghai, and he said that the Chinese, even though Chinese is a simulation, he says, it's my mate, I've got to be careful because I'm on their doorstep. But he says, what the world thinks China is and what China actually is are two very different things. Although that could be said about most things in an age of digital representation. Nice one, JP. Much appreciated. Andy Mack, fair play. Been a while, family and shit. You're right, Andy. I know the feeling. That's why I haven't been streaming so much. Not the family bit. I go and see my missus, give her what she needs, and then she falls asleep. So I can come home and do YouTube. But because I'm trying to save the business, I tend to come home and work. So I haven't been doing as much, but I will get back on it. Well, I don't know. I've done about 4 in the last 2 weeks. Ain't bad, is it? You can't have too much of a good thing. Nice one, Andy. Nice one, JP. Nice one, Mouse Cat. All appreciated. Nice one, AI Robot. Hands drops 2 beasts. Have you ever done it for money, Christopher? Have you read Whatever Happened to Hunting? Because the prostitution in there's one description of it happening and one description of an option that is always available. Now, the option that is available, I had done a couple of times, and the one that is actually happens, I've done a few times. But it's not what you think. I haven't had someone in through the outdoor, so to speak. But read Whatever Happened to Hunting. I'll put the link in the chat now. It's still one of my most successful short stories. It's in 2 parts, but there's a link at the end of part 1 to part 2. Is Lartus in here? Lartus, if you're here or you watch this later, I will read your thing. I don't know what I'll be able to. I don't know if I'll be able to help you, but I will read it. I literally haven't had any time to myself. You're a good writer. You write what you write very well. I will get. I barely getting any time to write at the moment. My own stuff. So reading someone else. If I'm sitting here after a 14, 15 hour shift, and then a 2-hour, 3-hour YouTube stream, and then it's like, right, I can read Lartus's story of time traveling assassin, which is interesting, or I can write, which is my true passion in life. As you know, I'll be doing the writing, but it's the weekend now, so I will try and get it in. I don't know if I'll be able to help you though, but I will certainly have a look. If people want to know whether I've done it for money, as it was so so well put by my man Hans, you can see there. Blogs has dropped an entropy. My mates called me Travis Bickle. Why doesn't that surprise me? The niggler is on form. My mates called me Travis Bickle when I used to go out as a lone wolf. Blogs is a lone wolf. I love you, Bill. When I used to go out as a lone wolf, and I was. Are you okay? Your left eyelid is drooping. My left eyelid has been drooping for about 15 years. People say to me, have you got a lazy eye? And you know what I say, Bill? I say, no, the other one's just really busy. No, I'm fucking shattered. Look, you can see that it's always been smaller. Vart? Tell me you heard that, Vart. Maybe if I change the frequency of it. Bill, thanks for the entropy, mate. Mr. MF has dropped an entropy as well. Well, we're going to get on to this, Mr. MF. I think President Trump will be president-elect again in a few days, Chris. Good news for the rest of the failing West, I believe. Mr. MF, thank you for the entropy. Really appreciated. Thanks for using entropy. You always do. The other option is a communist government running America, and that won't go well. America then becomes, well, the USA then becomes a single party state for at least 2 generations, or some kind of civil war. Because what will happen if the commies get in? And Kamala Harris is a communist. Her policies are communist. She's a communist. The Biden, the Obama, all of them, they're all commies. And what they'll do is continue, and I say continue because they've already been doing it. They'll continue to ship people from all over the world through that southern border into the swing states. Continue to say you don't need ID to vote. You don't even need to be an American citizen to vote in some states. What? What? You can just go to someone else's republic, constitutional republic, rock up to the polling station. Like, you could go on a voting holiday. Go in and vote on who's going to be your government, and then just fuck off back to where you are a citizen. It's absurd. But the thing that we're all worried about is whether they're going to cheat. But what I do like is this: there's a massive campaign on Too Big to Rig. I'm sure you've all seen it. They're really campaigning, the likes of Charlie Kirk, your Crosby X, all that lot. Let's make this win too big to rig. So even if, this is what I think is going to happen. Trump's going to absolutely smash it on day one. Because already there's more Republicans have voted already than Democrats. And it's usually the other way around. Republican registered, and Democrat registered. But already more Republican registered voters have voted. And it's usually the other way around. I think there's going to be a landslide, a Republican Trump landslide on election day. But the following 2 or 3 days, if it's too big to rig, great. America is saved, and then the rest of the Western world. And I'm serious. That's not hyperbole. I mean that. I know what communism has done to 2/3 of the populated world, as do most of you. But they're also doing things where they're ferrying. I need to change the frequency. That might be the issue. And I'll put the speaker nearer the mic. Right, let me change. I'll put it onto. No, I'll leave that there. It might be a frequency issue. I'll make it go on for a bit longer. I'll change the oscillation pattern. What about this one? Let's try this. Whoa. We don't fancy that, do we? Let's try this. Right, we'll try that one. We'll see how that goes. Yeah, it's the next. So there's the Too Big to Rig campaign. And what they're also doing is getting people in the polling stations, keeping an eye on everything. You've just had a load of suitcases delivered. Let's have a look at them. No, you can't just stuff them in those boxes. No. So they are, what people have always said to me, not always, but over the last few years is, what's the point of Trump standing again when they can just cheat like they may have done? I can't say if they did, like they may have done before. Well, I think Trump's a wise enough person to think, if I am going to stand again, we need to put some things in place to make sure that if it's not fair, it's at least they can at least mitigate potential cheating. And, that makes sense to me. And so they are doing that. They're recruiting people to keep an eye on polling stations 24/7, etc., etc. So, this is no joke, people. If Kamala wins, the world will be in a very delicate position, because what you'll have is competing communists. You'll have your Putins, your Chinas, your North Koreas, and then your America. Now they're all commies. I mean, Cambodia's a communist country. Vietnam's a communist country. But you can see the problem there, can't you? And there'll never be, the House and the Senate and the judiciary, that'll all just fall apart. That won't, it will just become a dictatorship. Now, I haven't got a problem with a dictatorship as long as the dictator loves the country and loves the people, or loves the republic and loves the people. That can work. It's only another way of politically organizing your nation. I don't know why people get weird about it. Democracy doesn't seem to have worked too well in the West, does it? Certainly not in Western Europe, anyway. Anyway, a couple of thank you, Mr. MF. Let's go back to the chat. Did you hear that, Vart, or was I talking? Very kind of you people. It's very kind. Anglo, I emailed him twice as well. I mentioned you at the beginning because I mentioned people that you get a personalized notification. A couple of other people have said, "Can I get one?" So there's a few people now that get their own one. Evening, Mucker. Hello, folks. Ribeye tokens. Will you cover the US elections? Yeah. I think it works well for me in terms of timing, but regardless, hang on a minute. Oh, damn, that's really cool. I've just realized something quite bad. Hang on, sorry, people. Oh, damn. Give me 1 second, people. Sorry, this is a work thing, and the way work's going at the moment, I really need to do this. It will take about 30 seconds. Apologies, people. I don't really like to have to work in the middle of a stream. It's a question of timing, but I will try and stream when the votes are coming in, probably on what's that side? ET, Eastern Standard Time, the east end of America. So yeah, I will be doing something, of course. What else? Nice one, Anglo. Much appreciated. But yeah, what I'll try and do, Anglo, is find a time and a day when I can live stream results coming in that will be the most interesting and entertaining. Rather than just doing an election stream, which is just the clown news network going, now we're going to go and talk to someone no one's ever heard of, and they just come on and go, what, Trump, Adolf Hitler? Did you see, thank you, Anglo, for the support. Did you see, hang on, I forgot to do that. Did you see, Hans, is the link to that short story, Whatever Happened to Hunting? If you want to find out if I've done it for money, read that. I've just put it in the chat. I'll put it in the chat a couple of times so you won't miss it. And if anyone else wants to read that, there's no paywall on my Substack. It's all free of charge. for the time being. It's gone from I'll never monetize my Substack. It's now we're in the middle phase of for the time being. On Substack, people do this thing called pledge. And what it means is they say that if you were to monetize your channel, I would pay this much a month. And I've got something now like 450 a year in pledges. But when I first read it, when I first done the maths, I thought it was 450 a month. And I was sitting there with an ethical concern thinking, I've never needed 450 a month like I do right now. What shall I do? I thought surely people will understand, you know, when your financial situations change, you do what you have to. I mean, if you have read Whatever Happened to Aunt In, you'll know what I mean. Dirty Lynn, thanks. And then I worked out it was a year and thought, that's very kind of them, but it saves me having to make that decision. Anyway, so that's that story, that short story in there. Now, let's go to the chat. Hang on, let me see. I think there's another one. Arkglow drops a 10 spot in. Oh, Anglo. Sorry, Arkglow. Anglo. I don't know if you were here when I talked about it. On your advice, I watched Rush. I thought it was going to be a documentary, and at first I was a little bit disappointed because Senna's amazing, you know, Senna's amazing. But I stuck with it and thoroughly enjoyed it. So thank you for that. Great tip. Great tip. I think the Niki Lauda character, I think Niki Lauda came out a bit better. James Hunt was just a bit of a posh twat with loads of money. I mean, I haven't got a problem with people having loads of money, but Niki Lauda had a passion for racing. Do you know what I mean? James Hunt, didn't he win it once or something and then just got drunk and died at about 14 years old? But it was a good call, appreciated. Where are we going now? Arkglow says this. Academic agent thinks the regime has already decided that it's going to be a Trump win and the cackler to go on the scrap heap, but I'm not so sure. I've seen the contagion on it. That was a double VAR, by the way, I think, people. Well, if Trump wins, the Epstein client list comes out. That is going to cause a lot of people a lot of problems, and a lot of people that are very powerful. I mean, let's not forget, you know, we live in such a bizarre world. Let's not forget, Trump's already survived 2 assassination attempts. If he actually becomes president, you know, the geezer's going to have to wear like a full body bloody Kevlar outfit. Like literally with just his eyes showing. I can't see. Hang on. Sorry. The Guardian, and it is. I'll share the screen with you. Thank you, Arkglow, for that. I think the American elites, aka the swamp, I think they're caught between a rock and an hard place, because at the moment it's either Trump, where a lot of them are going to be, what's the idiom? I can't remember what it is, taken to the sword or something. So they're going to sacrifice a lot of their own. If Trump comes in, he'd be like, yeah, sorry, mate, it's you or me, and unfortunately it's you. Or they're going to have a communist government, which is equally, in a different way, a threat to them. So, you know, they could toss a coin, really. This is a weird... I've literally just seen this come up on my screen because I've got something I want to show you. But have a look at this. I've got a funny feeling I know what their angle's going to be. Look at this from the Guardian. Thanks. Here's how the winner of the 2024 US presidential election did it. We don't yet know whether Donald Trump or that other one will prevail in Tuesday's contest, but when we do, it won't feel hard to explain. So what weird rubbish take on this? That's proper psychological clickbait, that is. I'll tell you how that works. Because you think Trump's going to win, you click on it. Because you're thinking, look, they already know he's going to win. If you think Harris is going to win, you click on it. Because you think, look, they already know Harris is going to win. And what it actually turns out to be is probably the most boring story of base propaganda you've ever seen. Bye. If you really want to read that, you can do it on your own time, son. That's nonsense. Now listen, people, did you see JD Vance on Joe Rogan? I thought he was amazing. I really like him anyway. And I think he'll make a great president in 4 years. I think Trump thinks he will as well. Every time I've seen him talking, I've been impressed. He comes across like a human. He comes across like a patriot. He comes across like a nice bloke. He comes across like an interesting bloke. 4 years in the Marines, comes across like a strong bloke. Got a family, got some kids, was a congressman. Well, still is, but now he's going for vice president. So anyway, I was watching him on Joe Rogan. Now, most of you will know what I think about the myth of mental health and the DSM-5. So you can imagine what I thought when he said this. I've got it racked up. It might be a little bit behind. Steady. But watch this. It'll give it a bit of context. Excuse me. Let me know if you can hear. If you can't hear it, no point. Hello, Woodlander. Hello, Blogs. Hello, James. Honey Monster. Right, here we go. Check this out.
I got into a big argument, and this person, you can read about it in the New York Times, later disavowed our friendship and leaked our text messages to the New York Times. But the breaking point was I came out against this gender transition for minors when I was running for the Senate a few years ago. And she's a transgender individual, and she kind of flipped out on me. And the thing that I never understood, because she's like very much an old school leftist, is, are you not at all a little bit worried about how rich people are getting by prescribing experimental therapeutics to 9, 10, 12-year-old kids? Like, this used to be something that the American left would have gone crazy about. And now the only people who are raising concerns about it are conservative Republicans. But we should be concerned because it's not just like the lobbying and the influence. I mean, there's something called the Diagnostic Statistical Manual. It's sort of the manual of psychiatric disorders. And I think that we're on the DSM-5, as it's called, which is the 5th edition of this manual. You have
the good old DSM-5 that you've heard me talk about countless times. The DSM-5 that I've had Jeffrey Sharler on this show 3 times talking about. Let's see what old Vancey boy's got to say about the DSM-5. The greatest medical con in history, the greatest book of medical fiction. Why does the DSM-5 exist, or any of the DSMs? Because actual medicine refused to put any of their batshit crazy, made-up diseases that have no biological markers. They refused to have them. So they had to invent a new book. And you know who invented it? Big Pharma. Yeah. DSM-1 was 100% curated by Big Pharma. And JD Vance is about to tell you that. Check it.
DSM-5, as it's called, which is the 5th edition of this manual.
Apologies. I'm just going to take it back for a little bit of context.
Diagnostic Statistical Manual. It's sort of the manual of psychiatric disorders. And I think that we're on the DSM-5, as it's called, which is the 5th edition of this manual. You have drug companies that are making money that are lobbying to have, child dysphoria put into our psychiatric manuals, because then psychiatrists will treat that condition and then those pharmaceutical companies will get rich from it. Somebody should be interrogating whether the political incentives of our country actually align with the financial incentives of the pharmaceutical industry, because oftentimes the answer is going to be no, but nobody's asking that question.
Well, we've always known that children are very easy.
There you go. That's all you really needed to hear of that. I was so happy that JD Vance knows about the con that is the DSM. I mean, I'll put the link in the chat like I always do, James Davis. I beg you to watch this video, even if you don't agree with my stance on psychiatry. Listen, psychiatry isn't philosophy, isn't psychology, isn't psychoanalysis. It's psychiatry. They're all different things. And psychiatry is a con. Psychiatry is... Now look, some people benefit from taking drugs because they've got problems, but the problems are behavioral. They're not pathological. And most of the psychiatric drugs were meant for short-term use. And yet we've got people now who've been on selective serotonin reuptake inhibitors for 30, 40 years. Prozac was rebranded. It was called, what were the original angels? What were they called? Pags? Can anyone help me? Seraphim. So they rebranded Prozac. They invented a new because we've got what is it when the woman's on it once a month? What's it called? PTS. No, that's PTSD. That's another weird one that they've made something up. But what's it called? PMS, post-menstrual stress or something like that. Yeah. The rag, the blob. Here we go. Nice one, lads. PMT, post-menstrual tension, right? So what one of the pharmaceutical companies done, and this is all in this lecture I'm going to send you to. So they made a new drug just by changing one analog. An analog, you just have to put another little on the original drug. And instead of calling it fluvoxetine, all the usual names, instead of calling it Prozac, they call it Seraphim. And the Seraphims are like the original angels. And they invented, which is what the DSM does. When they say to you that like in England, mental health, 1 in 4 people in the United Kingdom, has got a mental health problem. All right? 1 in 4. 30 years ago, it was nothing like that. It was like 1 in 50. And everyone's like, look what's happened. Oh, it's all this, watching telly, playing video games. No, the DSM-1 had about 100 mental illnesses in it because they only invented 100. DSM-5's got about 500. And they're literally things like anti-authority syndrome. And if you tick 2 or 3 of their boxes, you get diagnosed with it. And they're things like doesn't trust authority, gets angry when authority figures tell them what to do. And if you go to the doctor and they diagnose you with that, you might just go, yeah, all right, great. You're off your head. I'm leaving. But if they think you're a threat to yourself or society, nah, the bouncers can come in and psych you off and then give you the old Largactol, give you the old, what's it? Don't What is it? The old chemical kosh. That's the word I'm looking for. And they can do that to you because a doctor, a psychiatrist, has said, "Oh no, he's got anti-authority syndrome." Look at Tourette's syndrome. It's not real. It's just people who choose to behave in that way. Why are there so many videos on YouTube of people with Tourette's? Because it earns them money. And they get to say what they want. They get to say what they want at school. You big nose cunt, fucking wanker. And they laugh. They laugh when they do it. Do they look like they're sick? Or do they look like they're just having it off? It's just a laugh for them. ADHD, no, feminized education system. Boys sitting there going out of their minds, curious to learn through doing, because that's what boys do. They learn through doing. They want to get out in the woods. They want to climb up trees. They want to swim in rivers. They want to make rope swings. Girls who mature faster than boys, they learn from books. They're better at it because men and women are different. And yet the education system in the West has been feminized. So all those boys who sit in those classrooms, of which I was one, going out of my mind, when the teacher explains something, okay, I get it. And then they put a book in front of me and go, right, do 50 examples. And I go, why? And they go, because I need you to prove that you know it. I said, well, you just told me what it is. And they go, don't get cocky with me, lad. And I'm like, I'm not getting cocky, but you just explained it. And I had this conversation at school countless times. I said, you just explained it. I understand it. Why do I have to sit here and now look, it's a lovely sunny day out. And you want me to do 50 of them? It's so obvious. And that's when I started fucking around. That's when I started smashing windows. That's when I started pulling girls' ponytails down. And when you start doing that, that's what then I got put outside the class. Which makes a young boy, not only am I getting bored to death, but their treatment for that is to isolate me. So now I haven't even got people to talk to. So now I get even more crazy because I'm like, what the fuck? I'm so fucking bored. Why am I here? And then I just leave. And then it goes to the headmaster. And then it's like, well, maybe then they bring my parents up to school. This all happened. Or maybe your child's got ADHD, attention deficit hyperactive disorder. No, I'm in a working class family. I rarely see my father because he works 12-hour shifts. He's gone to work before I get up for school, and I'm usually in bed before he gets home. And then over the weekend, he goes out on a Friday and a Saturday with his mates to have a few beers because he fucking deserves them. And on Sunday, I get a few hours with him. It's not a disorder. I am attention deficit because our culture has made us like that. And then they give us stimulants. Why do they give ADHD kids stimulants? Because it shuts their brain down because they're already curious. They're already full of energy. So what do? Give them more energy, and the brain's just like, whoa. And then that kid's like, you all right, Chris? Yeah, I'm good. Now do 50 examples. What? Now do 50 examples. Yeah, but I don't understand it. Yeah, but I just showed you. Yeah, but I can't think properly, miss. And also, you get to see your social worker, you get to see your psychiatrist, you get to see your key worker. Now you're getting some attention. Oh, the drugs are working. No, you're getting attention. That's what the kid needs. It's such a fucking scam, and it's scandalous. Absolutely scandalous. Not only are they giving kids whose brains haven't even developed yet really powerful drugs, amphetamines, selective serotonin reuptake inhibitors, things that fuck around with dopamine synapses. Check out this video. I beg you to watch it just so that you'll get an understanding. Well, you know, and obviously do your due diligence. Don't just take his word for it. But I'm friends with Jeff Sharler, who spent his life debunking psychiatry. I'll put it in the chat. No? I couldn't believe it. I'll put the link in the chat. I'll put it in a few times. Give it a click, rack it up, and watch it later. It will, I promise you, it will blow your mind when you find out what psychiatry is about. Psychiatry doesn't. We had Jax come on, you know, from Rags and Jax. And he said he's been on selective serotonin reuptake inhibitors, Prozac, essentially. Prozac's a brand of an SSRI. Since he was something like 11 or something, and he's still on them today. And Jeff Sharler, Professor Jeff Sharler, was on my channel. And I said to Jack, I said, look, you don't need to have been abused or neglected as a child to have had trauma. It's quite traumatic growing up. It's quite traumatic. And with the loss of communities, with the loss of extended families and all that, it's getting harder. And Jack said, no, I had an amazing childhood. It was perfect. And he said, you know, I trust him that he said that, right? And then I got Jack on, bless him, he come on. That takes balls, when Jeff Sharler was on. And I said, Jack, tell Dr. Sharler what you told me. And he said, well, I was put on SSRIs when I was 11. I'm still on them. I think it's about 30 years he's been on them. And Jeff said, why were you on them? He said, well, I was always terrified. I was terrified. I was just always in this state of fear. Now, my first thought was, but you told me you had a perfect childhood. A childhood where you're always terrified doesn't sound perfect to me. It sounds terrifying. And Jack said to Jeff Sharler, he said, what would you have done? Because Sharler was, well, still is a clinical psychologist. He said, what would you have done? And the common sense of the whole thing was simple. Sharler said to Jax, he said, well, I would have asked you what you were scared of. Obvious. It's obvious. Find out, why are you terrified? And then we can work with it. We can talk to you. We can help you. Psychiatry doesn't want to do that, because when you cure someone, whether it's pathological or behavioral, it doesn't matter. When they no longer need you, you can't keep printing money. But when you say, oh, okay, you're scared, are you? Yeah, not a problem. We've got drugs for that. Here. And the National Health Service pays for that, which is another way of saying your taxes pay for that. Big Pharma earns billions more every year. And he continues to take those drugs every day, every week, every month, every year for the next 30 years. And those numbers have quadrupled in the last 30 years. People taking drugs in the DSM-5. As someone who's been a junkie for most of my adult life, a heroin addict, I don't believe in addiction, by the way, but you know what I mean when I say a heroin abuser, shall we say? In the DSM-5, opiate use syndrome. Opiate use syndrome is in the DSM-5, and they've got a drug that will treat it. Now, weirdly, there's already a drug that will treat it. It's called heroin. It's called an opiate. You take it and it stops it being problematic. Now, because they make it illegal and you can't get your hands on it and you have to go robbing things and you have to deal with some really nasty people to get it, your life goes down the pan. But if they were to admit, I mean, their own bullshit is so contradictory. You've got opiate use disorder. Yeah, well, give me some opiates then and watch it not be a problem. But no, they won't do that. They'll give you methadone, which is far more expensive than any opiate. And then the pharmacy gets 10 quid every time he dishes out the methadone. And for most people on methadone or SUBSTACK, you have to sit and take it in front of the pharmacist. So he gets his cut. The key worker gets his cut. You've got to go and see a regular key worker. The doctor, you have to go and see the doctor regularly. You have to go and see the psychiatrist regularly. Everyone's earning money out of your syndrome. That's not a syndrome, it's a choice. There's no such thing as addiction. People choose to take drugs. You choose. There's no biological illness that wakes you up in the morning, gets you to go downstairs, gets you to walk out your front door, go down into Sainsbury's, nick a couple of shoulders of lamb and a couple of bottles of whiskey, take them to the local boozer and sell them, take that money, bunk the train to Abbey Wood, wait around for 2 hours until you can find someone who's serving up, buy a couple of bags, go to the pharmacy. Most people don't know this. In nearly every pharmacy in the UK, including Boots, you can go in there and get what junkies hideously call an AIDS pack. And it's got in it needles, syringes, a little disposable spoon for cooking up, sometimes a little ampule of water, a filter so you can filter your gear, everything you need except for the heroin and a lighter, totally free. Now, one of those bags probably costs about 25 quid for the government to produce, and your average junkie needs 1 or 2 of those a day. I was in my worst times, I was injecting about 15 times a day. I've done the maths, and at a low average, I've injected myself 70,000 times. So when I say the NHS pays for those AIDS bags, and hundreds of thousands of those are given out every day, what I really mean is your taxes pay for them. And yet it's illegal. It's illegal to take heroin. Why are you colluding with me? Again, the contradiction is just insane. If you're going to give me the stuff to use it on the back of, well, it'll stop you getting AIDS, it'll stop you getting hepatitis C, which are both very difficult to get. It's not sharing needles that gets you HIV or hepatitis C. It's sharing blood. Which means if you're eating or you're a bit squeamish or you're a bit young, ignore this bit. That means you cook up your gear, you pull it into a needle, you put it in a vein, you pull blood into the barrel. That's what you got to do first, into the syringe. That way you know you're in a vein. That's that you have to pull blood in. And then you put half of it into your main line, into the vein. And then you give that needle to someone else that's got your blood in it, that's kept warm, because you have to cook it up with citric acid, because it's shitty brown heroin, which isn't even heroin, by the way. It's a very crude diamorphine base. Actual heroin is white, and you don't need any citric acid or any heat. But, give them citric acid to put in their veins, because it collapses veins. That's what it does. Oh, they'll be all right. They don't. Well, who needs veins? And in decades of being a junkie, I never saw anyone do that. No one would do that. No one. Because you know why? You don't need to. All you need is one more spoon and one more needle. Or you can just break the bag in half. They can cook up. Then you can clean the needle. And then you have your bit. You don't need to share blood. Junkies do some dirty things, but there's no need for that. It's a scam, people. It's a racket Psychiatry is a racket. We pay for it. Our communities and our families suffer. You know, what a mess of a culture to get into, where we're paying for our own destruction, not only through money but through labor as well. We work for the money that we exchange for the destruction of our lives. Bravo. So let's go to the chat. So where are we, people? I want you to put Trump or Harris into the chat. People, can you like this video, please? When we watch live streams, we tend to forget to like the video. And then if you don't like it, YouTube won't send it around. And my YouTube channel has been on 19,400 subscribers for 5 years. I think I must be shadow banned. There's been people coming here that are new. So I know the numbers are going up. But I think YouTube gave me a load of bots years ago. So every time a few new people come in, they get rid of a few bots so that the channel just doesn't grow. Horus, I don't know if Horus is still watching, but he said to me last year, he said, has your channel been on 19,400 like forever? I was like, yeah. Yeah, so please like the channel. I'll be much appreciated. Right, it's 2:15 in the morning. Don't forget, you can use that QR code and get a video reply. Super chat at the bottom, entropy at the top. This is meant to be a call-in, isn't it? Where's Packer? The reason I haven't done a call-in is because Packer ain't here. All right, Duper guy. Yeah, you've nailed it. Also, thank you for your donation on that. I'd done the answer, but then you replied to me and said it's Duper guy, so thank you very much. Hello, Baz. Seraphim are not the angels what modern religious people think they ought to be. Yeah, but the point is, you know, they just rebranded Prozac and they reinvented post-menstrual tension as it was the same thing. They just rebranded it. And there was tens of thousands of women on a drug that they didn't know was Prozac because it was called Seraphina or something weird. Right. I'm going to put the invite into the chat. I'll tell you what, we'll go a bit mad tonight. If 2 or 3 people want to come in, you're welcome. There is the chat. Everyone wants blogs to come in. I think we're going to do another 3/4 of an hour, people, because that will take me to 3 a.m. and I want to get some work done on my short story. Let me give you the link to my Substack. It is in the description, but there's more chance of you going and subscribing if I make it easy for you. There's 25 shorts over there. They've had loads of reads. I'm into the sort of multiple thousands. Psych or suck? I don't know, Bertie. I don't know what you mean. I don't know what part of my conversation you're talking about. You know, the funny thing, AI robot, is the amount of times I talk about the DSM, and because I'm just riffing, I go, it's madness, it's insanity. And I'm thinking, yeah, that doesn't really hold together. Pax Max is on the firm. Arclo's on the firm. Look at them jumping in. Look at Arclo, can barely see you, son.
Oh, hey there.
You're not Arclo, are you?
No.
Arclo, why are you in the dark?
I prefer it that way.
Oh, God, all right. It's going to be like that, is it? Steady on. Are you all right, Pax Max? Do you prefer it in the light?
Yeah. Always bright. At the moment, at least.
Right, Pax Max, if you wouldn't mind, let's deal with Arclo because there's something happening. There's something going on here. Because usually there he is in his nice golf t-shirt, reclining in his house with adequate lighting. Pags has called you Darklo. Right, Arclo, what's happening, son? Tell us what's happening.
Not too much, Chris. It's nice to be at the end of the week. I work a really shitty shift pattern now, so I'm actually just coming off 4 nights there. So I'm looking forward to going to bed around 9 o'clock tonight.
It's all right for some, innit? That was 5 hours ago for me. But I write best at night. So even if I did go to bed at 9, I'd set my alarm for like 3, 4 a.m. and wake up to do some writing.
I try and maintain as regular a sleep pattern as possible now, you know, certainly.
But when you say you said something like you're on a brutal,
yeah,
are you on nights or something?
It's maybe 3 or 4 days of nights, a break, then 3 or 4 days, then a break, then 3 or 4 days of nights, you know. So
see, we've talked about this, me and you, before, but isn't that the worst thing to sort of keep changing it?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I did induction for this about a year ago with a lot of bump from the Health and Safety Authority talking about how bad 12-hour shifts are for you. And I'm like, what the fuck are you telling me this for? You know, exactly.
Was that paid for by whoever employs you?
Yeah. But the fact is though that I've been doing it for a year now, and I'm not suffering too much with it. I get back to a normal sleep pattern very quickly, so it ain't so bad, and there's good downtime with it as well. Like, you know, so I'm getting to read more. You know, go to the gym a bit. Like,
that's always important. I had a mate and he was working like 4 weeks nights and then 4 weeks days. And he'd done some research into it, and it turned out that was almost like just a couple of days short of the worst possible you could have. Just as you're getting used to the new sleeping pattern, it's like a mad jolt where you're like, whoa.
Yeah.
And then just as you're getting used to the new sleep pattern, that's got to be by design. It's got to be. No one could be that incompetent. The research is there.
Was this whole thing of like stuff running 24/7? You know, it's.
Hello, Spanish.
I wouldn't have necessarily chosen it, like, you know, but it suited me to do it. Like, you know, it suited me to do it. You know.
So it sort of there was a whole, it fit the rest of your life at the time, so it worked.
Well, it was a promotion position, so, you know, a few extra quid, like, you know. So.
And I was about to say a bit more filthy lucre. Hello, Barrett Zippo. You've missed a great stream, mate. Ain't over yet. So what's the retirement age out over in where the barley grows?
Well, if you're 40 years in,
don't say 40. Don't say 40. He's here.
No, he had to go to meet Emma-G. He was saying in the chat, so.
Okay, say what you fucking want.
You're okay.
I love it. It's not a joke though. I'm terrified. Go on, sorry, son. Hello, Sheila.
Just on that subject, Chris, and I've said this to one of my brothers when we were playing golf. I was saying, you know, everybody knows that I don't look at TV and that I'm online a lot, like, you know, or whatever, you know. And I said, we're just like, he's very receptive to stuff I tell him. Very, very receptive. He's a great guy. Go a bit older than me, like, but I was saying to him, look, I know a lad online on a very, very, very friendly, very, very nice, friendly, live streams, YouTube resource. And reading between the lines, like, he's a proper hard bastard from East Belfast of the loyalist stripe. I mean, I just know that he is. And I'm saying to my brother, I have more in common with him these days, and I've much more. I've much more to talk about with a lad like that. So, like, is that not illustrative of of just the total flipping on the head of where our priorities have shifted to in terms of the culture. Like,
And
I can have an interesting conversation with 42 or
for sure
interact with him and see that he's a thoroughly good chap. You know, we don't have to get into the weeds about Irish nationalism,
because there's other things more important.
There's other things that are
more
the surrounding context needs to be sorted out first.
It's interesting you say that, because I've picked up a few clues over the years to think that he certainly had a history. I imagine not in person, but I mean not online, but in person. I bet it'd even make my toes curl. Some of
a tough old boy and a very, very intelligent lad. And what cracks me up anytime I've spoken to him is that I had a friend, he passed away, but he was from roughly the same part of Belfast as 42, I'd say. And it's like hearing my buddy speaking. The accent is completely identical, like, you know. So it's actually that's one of the reasons I like whenever
I have to get him to slow down. I really don't understand him. I mean, when he comes on here, he goes, and then I go, whoa, hang on. Hello, Skin. Nice to see you. Right, Pax Max. Now, I know you're going to tell me you haven't been up to much, but you've certainly been styling your beard. Without a doubt, you've put work into that.
It's getting longer and more unmanageable by the day.
What, your future or your beard?
And beard, yeah.
Yeah, but isn't your home country moving rapidly to the right? Your country of origin, I mean. Sorry,
it is flopping back and forth. You see some positive things in the news, and then it's followed up by some stupid shit, and you're back where you started. But it's, on the whole, it is moving.
They are deporting people, aren't they?
Come again?
They're deporting people. Sweden is deporting people.
They're saying it. I don't know how many actually. They are so slow. They are like taking meticulous care about these people. Everybody gets their own flight and cost $1 million euros and
private jet. I read somewhere that they give them something like $1,000. They get the flight obviously paid for them, and it's just an holiday home, because when they get back to Afghanistan, they just like, hey, look, those idiot Swedes paid for me to come back for a couple of weeks.
Let's just get back there.
I'll go back in a couple of weeks, and I've got $1,000 here. You can buy a new car.
Yeah, back in rotation. All's good.
And that will be because of bipartisan agreements. You'll have the right saying, right, we take their DNA, we take their fingerprints, we swab them, and anyone found who's come back, they get deported without the money, and they get put to the next safe country. But then you'll have the left step in and going, what about the Geneva Convention? What about human rights? No, we can't do all that. You've got, like you say, you've got to get them on the nice airplane, and you've got to give them some money. You can't just let them go in their own country with no money on them. We'll give them 30 quid then, not $1,000 or whatever it is.
It's crazy.
But I think it's considerably more than that. I think it's considerably more than 1,000.
Let's have a look. See if we can find out. Let's see if we can find out.
Is it not something in the range of 35 grand or something?
No, don't say that.
Yeah, it is a shit ton of money.
I don't know what to write. I've put exporting, but it'll be something like migrating, won't it? Remigrating. Will it be remigrating? What's the word I'm looking for? Anyone got any tips? Hang on. How much is Sweden giving the people they're sending home? That ain't going to be it, is it? It's so weird. $34,000. Sweden, this is, and how weird is this? First, now, admittedly, I'll take that back. I've just remembered where I am. I nearly had an heart attack, but the first article was the Bangkok Post. And I was thinking, wow, look at that. No one's talking about it. But then I'm an hour away from Bangkok. So, but let's see if we can find, no, that'll do. Well, I'm sure that'll be all right. Let's have a little look at this together. $34,000 to go home.
There has been some changes, I think. The one I got up straight from the migration office, they are claiming it's €1,000 per adult and €500 per children under 18 years to repatriate if it's completely voluntary.
It shouldn't be. If they break the law, they should be gone. Our taxes
without money.
Shouldn't have. Yeah, of course. You don't come over and break the law and then expect us to pay you to live in relative luxury in Western European prisons. If you want to go to prison, get out to Ecuador. Here we go. I've made it a bit bigger for you people. Sweden will offer migrants $34,000 to go home. Western Europe's so fucked. UN officials suggest repatriation funds could better support migrant integration. So rather than paying them to go home, that money would be better used making videos saying, no, don't touch me there. This is my no-no square. Okay.
That has to be some old news or something.
Yes, this is old.
Yeah.
But nonetheless, this was floated at some point.
Yeah, that was the previous one. Yeah.
The increase, which will take effect in 2026. Right, this article was written in 2016, so it was written. So they'd already gone through it, and it was scheduled for 10 years time. How long did it take till you could do this in an evening on the back of a fucking matchbox? 10 years.
Yeah, but Chris, if you're going to do it by this means, you have to boil the frog slowly.
Yeah, exactly.
That's the plan.
Ridiculous. Yeah, listen to this. The step is one part of a larger shift in policy and rhetoric. It's funny how rhetoric has become like a bad thing. A shift in policy and rhetoric for Sweden, long known as a refuge for those fleeing war-torn and strife-ridden. Oh, that's not on Sweden, is it? Countries. It is now among a growing number of European nations embracing a harder stance on immigration amid a rise in right-wing and populist parties.
Oh dear.
Yeah.
We get a Nazi mention in the next paragraph.
Yeah, here we go.
go.
Sweden's coalition government is propped up by the Sweden Democrats, who Pax has said to me, and hell no, he said they're pretty much centrists, when you look at them in relation to like the AFD or what's her name? Who's the French lady? I can't remember. Yeah, Le Pen. If you put the Swedish Democrats up against Le Pen and the AFD, they're pretty much centrists according to Pax Max. So listen to this in that context. Sweden's coalition government is propped up by the Sweden Democrats, a far-right party that won the second highest number of seats in the 2022 election. The party began as a neo-movement in the 80s. Oh, so 30 years ago. So why bring it up? But rebranded. The Democrat Party started the Ku Klux Klan, but that doesn't get mentioned, does it? Anyway, in the 1980s, but rebranded itself. No, it didn't rebrand itself. It changed itself into a conservative party. with curbing migration at the center of its platform. I wonder, maybe that's why it gets the second number of seats in government. Reforming Sweden migration policy was non-negotiable during the coalition talks to form a government.
Well, Chris,
there you go, people.
Chris, it's a hallmark of hack journalism that you have to get the original sin of Nazi in to poison the well instantly. Like, you know.
I mean, Pax Max, do you know, were they originally a neo-Nazi party? I mean, my guess would be one of the founding members, when he was a teenager, done a bit of time for having some posters of Hitler or something. And you can spin that, you know, you can muddy the waters, and suddenly the Sweden Democrats used to be. Do you know anything about that?
Yeah, it was never like a fully fledged only far right extremism, but it had certainly several components of it, and they had some
which is inevitable.
Yeah.
I mean, you can't do much about that. You can't. Every person who joins, you can't vet them and their entire history. It's just, you know, come on. And
then we have all of the local stuff, which differs from the main course, of course. So there are some variation there, but they have been cleaning out, and now they are.
But the key thing though is to keep the word Nazi in perpetuity. So Pavlovian response from anyone reading or listening to the thing, because you don't need to.
Can you believe that Trump had an amazingly successful rally in Madison Square Gardens, and all the news was for the next 2 days? But do you know that 100 years ago, Adolf Hitler had a rally in exactly the same place? They didn't mention that some of the greatest boxing events ever has happened in Madison Square Gardens. They didn't mention the gigs that have occurred there, the classic gigs. No. And then there's loads of pictures. I better not do that, actually. Loads of pictures of people throwing Roman salutes. And it's like, yeah, you know, they drink water as well. It's just so ridiculous.
It's actually, it's like, I can't believe we aren't at the point where it just provokes laughter at this stage. But it's still, to deploy the word Nazi to denounce someone still has a bit of a, it still has a half-life, it would appear. And
stop saying it.
Which is why, I in conversation then with my buddies, I say all the time now, like, you know that the wrong enemy was defeated in World War II. Like, you don't understand that, like.
Yeah.
Yeah, I completely unironically, like, and then what are you going on about? You know, and I just say, well, look, that was the opinion of the USR, Patton, you know, at the time. That was his opinion. And that's just all there is to it. And, you know, we've been buried in narrative for 80 years. And, you know, you can kick and scream and get annoyed at me for saying it, but that is basically the case, lads, you know. And
the left won't let them die, will they? They need them. They need those, like,
absolutely.
Yeah, they will keep feeding it.
They're powerful.
Repeat.
Yeah,
you need, Chris. You need an Emmanuel Goldstein to have your 2 minutes ahead against every day.
There you go.
That's just and that'll keep everybody nicely on message. You know what I mean?
Although only a certain political persuasion is allowed 2 minutes of hate. The rest of them can't get away with 2 sentences, or they'll get locked up without trial.
No, the inner and the outer party can get away with it, like, but no one else.
There you go. Have either of you got anything in particular you want to bring to this, or I'm gonna yeet you and try and get some.
I just wanted to drop in and say hello. It's nice to see Pax. I hope you're feeling well there, my good man.
Amazing.
All right, and I'm gonna go get
something. I got something going on.
Okay, well, Arklow, always lovely to see you. And I did.
Good to see you, Arklow.
My eyes did finally manage to see you, and always good to hear your incredible voice.
Great to see you
Look
guys.
after yourself. Enjoy
All right,
your
goodbye, Arklow. Good to see you. Yeah,
Yeah, that's
So,
fine.
mate.
Right.
Let's have an arc in the chat for Arklow people. Cheers, mate. Enjoy your weekend. So what, you reckon you've actually got something, do you?
I got something. Did you check your entropy lately?
Oh, gosh.
Oh,
Well, blog. Oh, hang on. Oh, nice one. Paxmax has dropped $25. Hold on to your crammer. Oh, my God. Do you want me to read that out? Or is that privy?
nah.
Paxmax is coming back out to Bodia. Amazing. I'm so proud of you. So proud of you. Last time we talked, it was all doom and gloom, and you thought,
Yeah.
fuck.
It was so much going on. It was meetings here, meetings there, and there was a lot of doctor's appointments, some getting canceled, some getting moved forward, and some getting swapped, and it was just complete mess. So now I managed to sync everything up. So I have like a little window of opportunity here, and I took it instantly.
How
And
long are you
just
out here
booked.
for? How long are you out here for?
2.5 weeks.
Wow. Are you going to go wrong?
You can't go wrong with that.
Yeah, Jesus. I take it you're going down there diving. That's
Yeah,
what
it's
I mean.
gonna be diving.
So how long are you going to be in the pen for?
It's gonna be probably like 2-3 days before and 2-3 days after.
Shall I break the law and should we go and have a couple of whiskeys in a very nice little bar somewhere that you might enjoy? They play
yeah.
very quiet jazz. It's very cool. It's not like it's not a girly bar. You can just sit and we can talk. It's I can't do more than 2 or 3 whiskeys though, because
I shouldn't do more than 2 or 3. After that, you're just gone anyway. So
I
it's a
end
waste.
up. No, what happens is I then take you in a tuk-tuk to a pharmacy, and we wake up in Taiwan. So maybe we'll write a list at the beginning of the evening of when you see certain signs, know to get out there, or
when you hear the code word ampule, now you know it's about to go down.
When you hear some kind of Cockney accent slurring, have you tried fentanyl yet, Max? I haven't had a drink in a long time. I certainly deserve one, but it will be 2 or 3 because you'll see on the third one I'm like this. And in that bar you can smoke a biff, and I will have a biff as well because.
Well, you can't rely on me driving you home. God damn it, that's impossible,
mate. It's like 30-second walk from my house, and if you're going back to your cockroach haven, or are you going to go?
I'm not going to cockroach haven. No, I'm going to be at the rooftop pool and just chilling for a few days.
Are you going to the one that was on my road, the one you moved round to that was slightly more pricey? So you'll be on my street.
Yeah.
Perfect, man. Oh, people, what you don't know is Paxmax is tiny. I know he looks tall. He comes across as tall.
What do you mean?
How tall are you really?
168.
Oh, come on. No one in here knows it in centimeters, mate.
What?
When you feet
What is that? I don't know. 5'7", 5 foot something.
It's 5'4", isn't it?
Nah, I don't know. You have to translate. Let's see.
He would appear to have not responded well to me calling them small people. I have to get out there. No, they are, Eleanor. Last time he came out here, he had a great time, and I assume he did. He certainly looked like he'd had a great time.
Yeah.
Look
okay, 5'6".
Look at his face. Look, now he's talking about how tall he is. That a minute ago he didn't want to talk about because he doesn't want me to go down that other route.
We had fun. Yeah, we had the burgers and
Have you made contact with anyone that you met out here? Maybe last time you were here.
Nah, not in a good while. No.
Okay. It'll be nice to see you, man. I'm very proud of you. So, listen, my memory is just a sieve without. It's just the handle of a sieve at this stage. So, You got my email, haven't you? Email me like 2 or 3 days before you come in. And
Yeah, that's today.
Oh,
No,
hang on.
no,
Let
not
me
so
read. Let me read your entropy. Oh, it's next week.
Oh, yeah.
All right, hang on. So this is problematic then because what day do you actually arrive here? 5th, 6th?
It's gonna be Thursday, 7th.
No, Thursday's good. Thursday's good. And you've got 3 days in Penn. So we'll either do Thursday, we'll either go out Thursday, Friday, or you don't want to be going out Saturday the night before the drive down to. Are you getting the bus down to Sanookville? Oh,
Yeah.
Did you hear that Vart?
No, I heard a little clipping noise and then silence for a tenth of a second, and then
So my mic is right. People, I've got a new mic coming, so Varts will be coming back soon. Thank you, people. The grift did dry up and it made me cry a bit. Skin and Tonic has dropped to 10 spot. I'm coming to Cambo in February. I got not guilty last month. It's double bubble.
Good on you, Skin.
I'm not guilty. Let's have a skin in the chat for a not guilty, especially when he probably was. Sorry, mate. I don't know. I don't even know what the charge was. Well, you've got my email as well. You let me know beforehand, and we will also go for a few whiskies. I've got a funny feeling that might be a bit naughty. At least Pax Max is a sensible lad. That's amazing news. So many scrubs have come out here. There's so many YouTubers talking about Cambodia at the moment. I'm just like, I get in the comments and I say, he's lying. It's really dangerous. You don't want to come here. It's horrible. Just stay out. Not scrubs. Scrubs are more than welcome. I encourage you to come. Nice one, Skin. Thanks for the support. Well done on that court case. All jokes aside, that must be a bit of a weight off you. And I'll see you in February if you're up for it. Just let us know. Brilliant. So I've got you coming next week. It will the missus likes to see me on a Saturday because I stay the night at her house and I don't have to rush off to work on Sunday morning. So. And that's better for you because I imagine you're traveling on the Sunday.
Yeah.
So we'll go out Thursday or Friday. Thursday's probably better for me because then I can do a stream on the Friday. So the day you arrive, maybe not so good for you.
It's a night flight, so
Night flight to Venus.
I'll be sleeping.
Can you sing Night Flight to Venus for me like I just did?
No.
God, please.
No,
I know.
absolutely not.
Yeah,
No.
but that's why I want you to do it. I don't
No.
expect it. Mine wasn't good, but I think you just point blank refusing to go.
Yes.
Night Flight to Venus.
Absolutely refusing that.
Why is that? I'm not trying to persuade you. I'm interested in why you won't do it.
I'm a listener.
Right, I'm chucking you out. I'm going to get some more guests on. I'll
Perfect.
see you on Thursday. But listen, do send me an email Wednesday, right? Just in case.
Wednesday, I'm already on the plane. Right.
Right, hang on. This is what I need to do. My prosthetic digital memory. Oh, God, that's not looking good. Hang on, sorry, Pax Max. If I just pop you in here, I won't forget. I'm having a little bit of trouble working it. Right, let's try again. Hang on, wait. Right, Saturday the 2nd, that's today where I am. So Thursday the 7th, there's an earnings call on the 7th. That's all right. So Thursday the 7th, let's add one to that. Pax Max arrives. Okay. You've got my combined number, haven't you? If you haven't,
somewhere.
right, if you can't find it, email me and I'll give it to you, and you can let me know when you're here, and we'll go out and get some food, and then we'll have a couple of drinks.
Sweet.
That is lovely. It's great.
All right. So I'm gonna keep out of here, and you just keep
Hang
on.
on,
doing your thing.
whoa. Hang
Whoa.
on. It's important having you here, because otherwise people are just going to be watching me
Okay.
do
So now
this on the phone.
I'm the monkey now.
Oh yeah, exactly. Right, now that's in there. Brilliant. I look forward to seeing you Thursday. How amazing. Do you do a jazz cigarette occasionally?
No, never.
Well,
I've been offered, but nah, I don't. I'm pretty wacky in the head as is. No need to.
That. I'm
Yeah.
high on life. Mate, when you're in a country where you can sit in a bar and just have a nice little bit of juicy fruit and a nice old-fashioned.
Is it really legal though?
No, but it's yes.
Which is
if you're a Cambodian, they use it in cooking. You can grow your own. You can
okay.
If it's a commercial operation, you're in trouble. But yeah, you can sit and smoke weed in bars out here. I shouldn't really say this sort of stuff. They just don't.
You've seen people. All right.
When Hugh come out here, that was crazy, man. I'm not saying LSD. See you later. I'll see you on Thursday. Can we have a PAX in the chat for PAX Max? Ta-da, mate. See you Thursday.
Ta-da.
Safe travels. Amazing people. PAX Max coming out and Skin coming out. Incredible. How exciting. How bloody exciting. Right. I will put the invite in the chat. This will probably be the last guest, because you can hear my voices on the wane. I'm just checking the old balls. Hang on, give me a second. I know this ain't fun. It's just incompetence at this stage. But it is nearly 3 o'clock in the morning, and I've had a terrible week's work. He said, have you not checked entropy? Also, blogs said 6:30 p.m. John Palmer, member, 2 years. I think if it came down to it, I could shut my eyes and bum a man, but I could never, ever get bummed. Spoken like a proper Royal Navy sailor. So I'm assuming John Palmer said that, or blogs is suggesting that JP said it. He could bum a man if it really come down to it, but he couldn't actually take one up the Gary. Thanks, Bill. Very kind. Phil Saliva, Lady Godiva. Pax Max dropped 25 quid of his holiday money to tell me he's coming out here. He brings all his diving equipment out as well. I can't imagine traveling with that. Blogs drops another one in. I witnessed a Tourette syndrome woman. I witnessed her in the waiting room, disturbing. Then heard her call the GP a smug cunt and a wanker. It was fucking funny. Oh, sorry. I heard her call her GP a smug cunt and a wanker. It was fucking funny. It was so hard not to laugh. He was. Yeah, because, it's because it's not an illness. It's not a sickness. It's just how they've chosen to behave. And that's all right. People are different. People are different. Medicine is such a broad stroke. People are different, which is why you give some medications to some people and it has the opposite effect than it does someone else. But what it seeks to do, like Soma, this is what Huxley was trying to get at in Brave New World. What does Soma do in Brave New World? It makes everyone feel the same. That's it. Now, I'm not trying to equate my 90s songwriting with the brilliance of Aldous Huxley, but there's a line in New Shoes where it says, don't worry about my heroin addiction. It's only slight. I need you. I love you. And I'll feel the same again tonight. because with drug use, you're controlling your feelings. You know how you'll feel. People who smoke weed all day, every day, it's controlling that, they're controlling how they feel. They're not going to get all this. They're not going to have to deal with the real emotional responses to existence. They're going to get stoned. They know how it feels, and they then have got a sense of control. And I'm not judging any of that, because in an atomized world, which is a simulation of itself, not in the sense that, we're being played on a computer game, just like I was talking the other day, like the supermarket is a simulation of going out and hunting food, and, the house is a simulation of the cave and all this sort of stuff. And the school is a simulation of learning through your father, usually, in the tribe, usually. It's not surprising people seek to control their emotions, because it's just an endless barrage of madness and nonsense. If you read my last story, The Amazing Mr. Honestly It Is Not, that's what I tried to get across in that. I tried to write a story that reflected our experience of life. That it's just branding and marketing and advertising and selling and production and consumption, and you're sort of in the middle of it, like, shit, we ain't in Kansas anymore, but we don't know where we are. And yet on top of that, we've still got to find resources. We've still got to feed ourselves and our families and our kids, and have people shipped into our nations for reasons we still don't yet know, and if we think we do, we're not allowed to talk about them. Wow. Oh, without doubt. I mean, he's just not the sort of bloke to say it in public. Bless him. He's had a hard time over the last few years. I'm so proud of him coming out here again. Truth Will Set You Free has been on the firm for 45 months. Nice one, The Truth. Bill and Pax, Max and Skin, thank you for your support. I'll put the invite in the chat once more. If no one takes it up, I will sort out a bit of music and we'll get ourselves out of here. I'll rack that music up now, actually. But I would recommend watching old JD Vance. Is it Vance or Vance? I feel so English saying Vance. JD Vance. Well, that's French, actually. Bit more French. There's still time. I had a feeling that would be the case. So thankfully, it's a few months away. I mean, Mrs. is fine with me going out and going crazy, but just not too often. As long as you tell me what to keep you away from, and you keep me away from the pharmacies, we might get through a night alive. Because one thing we don't want to do is wake up in a Cambodian prison. Well, that might be funny with both of us there. Here we go, people. Ladies and gentlemen, everyone loves him. It's P to the I to the double Z. L-E is Pizzle. How are you, son?
Hey, fella. You all right?
I'm knackered.
Yeah.
I don't earn enough money from my YouTubes anymore. I'm losing my voice. I've still got to go to the supermarket, and I absolutely love the glorious House of Scrubs. Cheers.
Yeah. I started a YouTube channel. I uploaded a couple of videos. But
Did
then
you really?
Yeah.
What, recent? This is a recent project.
Well, it was a few weeks ago now, but I took them down again because
sobered up. You mean? You sobered up.
Yeah. Well, my son was doing it all for me. They were pretty good videos, to be honest. My son was doing all the editing and all that, and it was quite, it was about clothes and all that, jeans and
so
stuff.
Why did you take them down? You might have been onto something then.
Yeah. Well, I might put them back up and I might do some more stuff, but.
So what you've just done is the hardest thing. So many people over the years have said to me, I want to do a YouTube channel. And I say to them, do you know what you have to do that? And they go, no, tell me. I go, do a YouTube channel. Yeah. Just make them. They won't be perfect. You go and look at my first ever videos. They're so embarrassing. I'm like, hello, here's a witch.
Yeah. But you're a bit of a natural, though, aren't you, Chris? You're a natural. I have to sort of force it. You know what I mean?
No,
I'm not.
I'm not. I was a comedian for 10 years, so I have got.
Yeah, you're a bit modest. You're very modest. You know, you're natural for talking and all that. And I'm not a talker at all. You know, I told you. That's my housemate. I told him not to say anything, but then he pipes up.
Just give me some of that.
Yeah, I forgot what I was saying now. Yeah, I'm not a natural anyway, so I sort of scripted stuff to say, and you know, they were all right. The videos weren't that bad or anything, but you know, I took them down.
You can make a right mint out of those kinds of channels because people are into clothes, especially. I mean, what is it? What's that really good one? I mean, they're weird blokes who present it, but they know their stuff. The Gentleman's, it's called. And then
Gentleman's Gazette. Gentleman's Gazette.
That's it. They're a couple of weird blokes, but they know their stuff.
Oh, that's all sort of high end sort of stuff, isn't it? Mine's sort of charity shop stuff.
But they started, you know, somewhere.
Yeah.
Do you know the French couple as well? I think it's called
Sartorial Talk.
That's it. Yeah.
They're
a bit chic and French.
That's even more high end, isn't it? Yeah, I love all that stuff, but you know, I ain't got the money for handmade suits and all that.
I used to, but
mine is sort of charity shop stuff, which is I don't mind that. I you know, I'm quite proud that I sort of I think I look quite good in my shit. That most of it is from charity shops.
No, I know people who only do that, but they spend a lot of time. They get the right stuff that goes well with other stuff, and they're like, this outfit cost me 16 quid, and they look great. They're absolutely fantastic.
What I'm hoping, Chris, because you did actually say it,
you ain't getting no boots. I
didn't say it. you brought it up. You suggested it.
Immediately, I already give the red ones to Barclay. I will let you look at them, and it feels very, very. They're so nice, man.
Yeah, they're absolutely lovely. Yeah,
years old, man.
Yeah, they're no good for you in Cambodia, mate.
I wear them nearly every day, man. They're 14 years old.
Yeah, they're quality stuff, aren't they, mate? Yeah.
Those soles, I mean, they've got proper leather heels on them. That's a stacked heel. You can see the stacks. But listen, you're like this. There's no point having front levers out here because of monsoon season. But that sole is made by a company called Day Night.
Day Night, yeah. I know them.
You know it, right?
Yeah.
They got their name from when they first set up that company making those rubber soles for Goodyear welts. You know the Goodyear welt?
Yeah.
There was no rubber soles for Goodyear welts, so that was Day and Night's angle. Let's make some rubber soles for Goodyear welts. And but they never stopped working. They worked all day and all night. And when people said, "What's that?" They never stopped working up there, and they go, "No, they go day and night." And that's I promise you, that's not just an urban myth.
No, yeah, of course, yeah, no, I believe that. Yeah.
That pattern of those circles. That's why they're called day and night soles.
Yeah, no, they are a well-respected sort of soul company, aren't they? Yeah, of course they are.
And do you know the J&R leather soles?
I do. Yeah.
You know that company closed down.
I was just going to say, haven't they stopped now? Yeah, they've stopped, haven't they? Yeah.
And so any cobblers or cordwainers who had JR soles, because it takes them a year to keep that leather in the proper sort of, I don't know how they do it. It's all special. I think they do it, soak it in oak and all this.
Yeah, old bark. Yeah, old bark. Yeah.
And it's a year, so it's very hard to make money out of it. So any cobblers and cordwainers who had stock left, everyone, all the people who are mad for shoes went out and went, I want my shoes resold, even if they didn't need them, because they knew that this would be the last time that they'd get some proper JR soles. But apparently that then caused a massive demand. Now I can't confirm this, but I think they started producing them again.
Yeah, well, I would have thought so because the business is there, isn't it? The business is there. I don't know if business was falling off and then they said they were closing down and the demand went up. You know, at least the business is there. I don't know why they would shut down. To be honest, I really don't.
I've got Rags totally addicted to watching all the videos about repairing shoes and all that, you know.
Yeah.
He keeps sending me. Yeah, look, this is a video from 3 years ago, and I think this is when he says that they're closing down. But while we're watching it, Pizzle, have you seen when they're doing those J&R soles, but they put the Blakeys on the back? It's a quarter tip. They've got a Blakey on the front, a gold one, and then they sort of airbrush a pattern on it. It's got the fiddle waist on it. Oh, I'll show you one in a minute.
Yeah, I don't know. It's ringing a bell. The airbrushing thing. Yeah, maybe.
Plus, kind of doing this video very spur of the moment type of thing, just because it's in regards to these guys, JR Souls. Unfortunately, we just got notification that JR, the tannery, is closing down. I don't have enough details as to why or what happened exactly.
So yeah, there you go. That was 3 years ago, but I want to show you. Do you know Dan the Cobbler from the Tring place?
So you're an entrepreneur.
I don't know it. No, don't know that one.
To have little cobblers in Tring. I don't know if you know where Tring is. It's south somewhere. But he made a YouTube channel. He's got over 300,000 subscribers. My guess is he's making more money out of his YouTube channel now than he is from being a cobbler.
Cobbling, yeah.
I want to show you. Here, look, have a look at this, people. We'll only watch the beginning and the end, so you can see that he's had a punter come in and say my shoes need resoling. So you can you see that, Pizzle, on the screen?
Yeah.
Hang on, I think I don't know if I've got the audio on. Hang on, check this out, people. I mean, a decent pair of shoes with some decent JR soles, you know, you only need to get them resoled. If you wore them every day, I reckon you'd need to resole them once every 4 years or something.
Yeah.
Because they make, you know, they come from a time when you spent money on shoes, you wanted them to last. You didn't throw them out a year later. Well, right, here we go. So check out the state of these shoes at the beginning.
Trim shoe repair t-shirt. Today I've got a longer, more detailed video for you today of a full leather sole repair on a pair of church.
Beautiful. I can't hear you, Chris. I don't know. You're muted, mate.
Yeah, I was muted. Churches, churches are well known. You must know churches.
Yeah, of course I do. Yeah.
Very chunky shoes, aren't they? They're known for having a very wide fit. But an average pair of churches they're handmade shoes. They're not bespoke though. But they're going to set you back these days about 500-600, I imagine. There are range ones, but he takes them from that. And I wonder what the top side is like. Let's see if we can get a look at the top side of these shoes.
Now we're using the very best leather you can buy. I'm going to show you start to finish. So keep watching, see what it's all about.
So it's only the soles, but oh no, he's going to do a bit of top work. Oh, look what he's done to them!
Yeah.
Now they're JR. Look,
it's beautiful.
People, can you see that sewing? That's a Goodyear welt. He's actually sewed that sole to the shoe, and that heel. It's called a stacked heel. There's 4 or 5 pieces of leather there, each one stacked on top of the other, and then they'll nail them all together and glue on the last one. That's why you can't see any nails on that last one.
Amazing.
Let's just have a look at the tops of them and see if he's done anything to them. I mean, look how old they are. They're probably about 20 years old. You can tell by the creasing down here.
Yeah, they are incredible. Yeah, I know. I know. Shoes are your sort of main interest, aren't they, Chris? I'm sort of into denim at the moment. I'm really, really into salvage denim. Denim.
Okay.
I'm
Not
into,
double, no. You don't do double denim, do you?
I've been known to. Yeah, I've been known to. Yeah. Salvage denim. I've only got one pair of salvage denim jeans. That's these I've got on at the moment. I don't know if you can see. They've got the salvage ID there. I don't know if you can see that.
Oh yeah. Nice.
Yes, the salvage ID there. So these are the only salvage denim jeans I've got, and I've got a pair of nudie jeans.
Well, listen to this, right? I've got 3 pairs of nudies, but as I got fatter, as you can see, I'm not doing the weights like I was. I mean, it's nearly all gone. But 2 pairs of them I grew out of. I couldn't. And they ain't cheap nudie jeans.
No, they're not. No.
And I don't know if you know, if you do know denim, the bollocks always go through after a few years, however much you look at them.
These are going on the crotch. Yeah.
But if you send your nudies back to a nudie shop,
they will
repair them free of charge, and they will match up. Match up the same color. And they do it on the inside, so it's almost invisible. But they're right there. I was gutted because I was too fucking fat to fit them. They're dry wash. They're dry wash denim, aren't they?
Yeah. Are they salvaged then?
Have I salvaged them?
No, are they salvaged denim? Do you know what I mean? Because I've got a pair of nudie. I've got nudie Steady Eddie, but they're not salvaged.
No, these are Steady Eddie.
Yeah, they Steady Eddie too. Show me the seam. Show me the inside seam. Has it got the salvage ID?
Yeah, I thought that's what. Yeah, you mean
Show
that?
me. Yeah. No, they're not salvage.
No,
they're not salvage denim. No, nothing wrong with them. They're still awesome, still incredible, but they're not salvage denim.
But they're I haven't washed them. Because.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Good. You shouldn't wash them. Not for a long time.
These are the other pair. They're the same as. I think these are Steady Eddies as well.
Yeah. Well, mine are Steady Eddies, but Steady Eddie are not salvage. Steady Eddie 2 are salvage. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean when I say salvage? Like you got the salvage ID. I don't know if you can see. They're like that. That's the salvage ID. They call it a salvage ID. I know you're not there, so you can't see it, but but there's nothing wrong with nudies. So nudies do. I don't know how you pronounce it. Salvage, self-edge, whatever.
Yeah. Pinsel, I haven't got a fucking clue what you're talking about. Tell me what it is.
Well, it's called. I don't know how you pronounce it. Salvage, self-edge, whatever. And the seam looks like that. The seam looks like that, and it's all about the looms. It's basically the looms that they weave them on. So the looms that they weave them on, they only make it like a yard wide, whereas modern looms they make like 5 yards wide, so they can make denim.
Okay.
They can make more of it. You see what I'm saying? No, that's
all 3 of mine are like that. So they're all. I think they're all the same because that Steady Eddie fit. I liked it because I'm buying online from Cambodia. I can't risk a different style. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. No, there's nothing wrong with Steady Eddie. That's what my nudie are Steady Eddie, but they're not salvaged. There's nothing wrong. The denim's no different. The denim itself is no different.
Yeah.
I suggest that you sort of have a look into salvage denim.
When I've seen in their little booklet that you get with it, I've read it. Because that's like what is it they call they're dry dyed or something. And that's the first pair I ever got, when I washed them, they come out a different color. They were like almost white. I was like, what the fuck?
Yeah,
and and they said, no, you don't.
Yeah, don't wash your denim. Don't wash. They suggest, on average, you wear your jeans for about a year. a year before you wash them. You can do a soak. You can do a soak. You know,
Another
so
one I heard was putting them in the freezer, and I've done that.
nah, that's bullshit, that,
But to
Chris.
kill bacteria, you've got to remember I live in a very hot country. No, you don't.
Yeah, nah, that's
Oi,
bullshit.
Oi, listen, we've lost 25 viewers talking about clothes. you
Oh no,
bastard.
let's move on. Yeah, okay, move on. Sorry, Chris.
Well, I'm done now because it's 3:15, so you're the
All
last
right,
guest.
all right,
So
mate.
hang
Yeah,
on.
I'm sorry about that.
How are you in yourself?
Yeah, I'm great. Yeah, great stuff. I've got this job coming up. I mentioned it last time about working for Universal Credit. So they offered me a job. I've accepted, you know, the job,
Yeah.
but I've got to hear back from them yet. And they might do a typing test on me, which if they do, I might be a bit fucked. Because last time I did a sort of an online interview, but the woman who was doing it, who sat next to me, when the typing test came up, she said, "Do you want me to do it?" So I said, "Yeah, go on, you do it." So she did the typing for me.
But you can teach yourself to type in a few days, man. Really, if you've got the time, it ain't that hard.
Yeah, well, I've got fucking nothing but time. But
Mitch Edberg said I could lose. What is it? Let me do the maths. He says I could lose 7 fingers and 2 thumbs and still type as fast.
yeah, I do. Yeah.
And what Bill Burr said, he said, you know what? All those kids at school that learned to type, he said they knew what was coming. He says because this was before he was married. He said, you know, I go on these chat rooms and I'm like, hey.
Yeah.
And then she comes back with a paragraph. Hi, how are you? Where do you live? What sort of things do you like doing? And he's like, I do.
Oh no.
Wait, I'll tell you what, Pizzle. It upsets me that people get funny about men talking about clothes. It upsets me because the English were the most stylish. Oh, you see? Are you just not moving, or is hello? Have we lost me or Pizzle? People in the chat, am I here or is Pizzle here or is no one here? Hello? Are we streaming or not? Pizzle's gone. All right, I'll let him go then. I'll try and add him again. No, he's on. He's gone. I don't. Oh no, he might come back. No, he's gone. Listen, people. I tell you what. You know, I used to be a street person, and I looked like it and smelt like it. When I turned up at my missus' house the other day with a nice handmade shirt, a cravat, a nice pair of Brisbane Moss high-waisted trousers with braces, moleskin braces, and those cordovan boots, she melted. She melted, and she started taking photos of me. You know, I've been with her for 6 years. It changes your experience of life. And here he is. There you go. Hello, Spanish chicken, by the way. There you go. I knew you would. But people get funny about it, didn't they? We had 110 people watching, started talking about shoes and jeans, and it went down to 78. So, you know, what's that? 32 people. I don't want all this. And for me, and I know people won't like this, but I think people just, it threatens them. They don't feel worthy of it. And then they come back with arguments like, I ain't not interested in all that poncing around. I don't give a fuck how I look. No, I don't believe you. I do not believe that no one doesn't care about how they look. Even if they deliberately dress like trash, that's a conscious decision that you've made that reflects how you feel about yourself. And when I started wearing nice bit of schmutter, proper garms, it changes your experience of life. People treat you differently. You pull more birds, which is always important, not so much at my age when you're in love. But it is important that my missus doesn't see me in a pair of fucking joggers and a fucking football shirt every day, because she deserves more than that. My missus goes and gets her hair done and her nails done and all that other stuff that women do that I don't even know about 2 or 3 times a week, so that when I see her, I'm like, wow, you look beautiful. Now, I'm not going to do all that, but the least I can do is think a little bit and make an effort so that when we go out, she's proud to be seen with me. And I don't buy all that bullshit. I don't care about all that shit. And it's not about money. I haven't got money to spend on clothes. That's why I buy nudie jeans, because they'll last me 6-7 years. Whereas a pair of 40-50 quid jeans from fucking Primark, they're gone after like 6-7 months. The bollocks go through because the denim's cheap. And you end up spending more. Those shoes I've got over there, they cost me 400 quid. But one pair is 14 years old. Now do the maths. Those Russell and Bromley clogs you buy once a year that make you look like a librarian, with their plastic soles that make your feet sweat to death and give you trench foot, you have to buy a new pair every year. So not only do you look like a fool, financially you are as well. Because you spread 400 quid over 14 years, it's economically sound to buy good quality garments. What? It really frustrates me when people are like, no, I'm not going to engage with this stuff. It's the lack of self-respect, and it upsets me because you should have self-respect. You deserve it. Packer, hello all, been lurking, great calling, all of it. Fair play, mate. Fair play. It did feel a bit weird though. It has felt a bit weird. Thanks for the donation, Packer. Lovely to see you. Have a good weekend, mate. Al Mac says, Danesfield, if you have to wear a suit on stage 6 nights a week, you soon get sick of it. That said, I always felt good in stage cobber though. But I've done that, Al. I've done it, haven't I? What, the Edinburgh Festival? 28 nights, 2 gigs a day in a suit. Look fucking great. All the other comedians in their fucking hooded tops and tight jeans. No, not a chance. I'm an Englishman. Cravat, waistcoat. I'd usually take my jacket off after, 10 minutes because I'd start getting hot. But I'd polish my shoes every morning. Not with polish, just with the brushes. Don't over polish your shoes, people, because it ends up causing them to crack. But give them a shine. Yeah, the Edinburgh Festival used to do that. And then people take photos of you, and then you get in magazines and that because it makes a nice photo rather than someone who looks like he's just walked in off the street. Want to hear some jokes? No, I'm doing a performance. This is a performance. This is a show. You've paid to come here. The least I can do is make it somewhat of a spectacle. No, it's important. And that's why you do it as a musician, Al. Would you, Al, I know you're kind of agreeing with me, but would you like to go on tour with a band and all the band are just wearing like their scruffy fucking sit around somnambulist, you can hardly distinguish what they're wearing from their pajamas? He's like, come on, lads, we're putting on a show here. Let's look good. And that's why you do it. And that's why you have been a professional, I nearly said magician, then that's why you've been a professional musician, because you know what it takes. If you're doing someone's wedding, and we all know there's a lot of money in wedding gigs, they don't want you turning up in a fucking, what is it? Arseholes and Finch fucking sweatshirt and a pair of joggers. Jesus, that's junkies' clothes. Abercrombie and Finch. What? There's an Abercrombie and Finch on fucking Savile Row. And I went up Savile Row once to get some buttons. And there was no one in any of the Savile Row shops, and there was a queue at Abercrombie and Fitch going up right up the road round to the Burlington Arcade of teenage girls ready to spend 100 quid on a t-shirt or a sweatshirt. And I thought, wow, have you been had? Wow, have you been had? And I've even got it on video when I walk past the Supreme shop. You know Supreme? Where you get you buy the t-shirt, 80 quid. This is 6 years ago. They're probably about 120 now. And it just got to me. And I was a bit of the mad old man. I had a suit on and I had a walking cane with a goat's head on top of it. And I went, look at you cunts here, look at you. And the bouncer went for me. I said, fuck off, you can't touch me. I'm just in the street. I can say what I want. He reached out for the phone. I went, why are you all queuing up to look the same? I said, you already all look the same. You're going to spend 100 quid. I said, I'll tell you now, when you're men, not boys, you'll find that women like men who stand out, not who are part of the fucking pack. I said, it's such a shame. I said, it's depressing as hell. I said, obviously you won't do anything about it. And all their faces, you could see that they'd been exposed, because in their little cliques, they don't talk about the truth like that. Oh, nice new Supreme t-shirt you got. Yeah, I've got a Supreme hoodie. They're just shit, cheap stuff made in China. A couple of times through the washing machine, the Supreme logo's all cracking up and breaking. But at least you got to look like everyone else for a couple of months. You know, the English, look at English style, look at English Victorians. We led the world in sartorial elegance. Even working class people used to wear suits in England, even the children. And then in the 80s, America imposed sportswear on us. And with it, African-American culture. And now look where we are. I beg you to get a suit made. Get a suit made and just wear it. Don't keep it for best. When you go out, wear it. When I wear a suit and a cravat out here, it's very rare I wear a three-piece because it's so fucking hot. But I wear a jacket and a shirt, or a shirt and a waistcoat, and I'll get the people the Cambodians love it. They're like, wow. But the people who get shitty about it tend to be English. They're like, oh, who are you? Biggles? Is it Biggles? You know, the old fictional character. And I went to him, no. I said, I'm an Englishman. I said, I wouldn't walk around sitting in my fucking Eddie Yates vest and fucking stay press that you're wearing. And I don't mean stay press as in the nice mod ones. They weren't even stay press. They were slacks from fucking Primark. Fucking Biggles. I said, no, I'm an Englishman. You know, that. Look, when we talk about the culture war, these are the areas these are the areas where it's fought. We've lost all that. We've lost that. You know, you've only got to go back 60, 70 years and you can take that from 60, 70 years ago, before the two wars, for another 150, 200 years, and anywhere on this planet, people would know, well, certainly in the Northern Hemisphere, would know that you were English, simply because you cared about the way you looked. Amazing clothes, the men and women. And now that's just royalty now, and it's not even their clothes, it's their costumes. And that's why it upsets me when people go, oh, that fucking suit, love. Who do you think you are? I think I'm an Englishman, that's who, because I am. I'm proud of it. And I will wear the finest cloth in the world by Holland and Sherry. And the cheapest cloth in the world by the bloke down at the Cambodian market, because I can't afford it anymore, Holland and Sherry. Anyway, the reason I ranted is because I care. And it's so fucking sad. You know, when we've all done it. We've all looked at those old videos of London, you know, and they've been colorized, and everyone's walking around looking great. All the people going to work in their work suits, all the people going out for the night. Tommy Nutter. You remember Tommy Nutter suits, all the crazy Prince of Wales checks and the big lapels. Go out in England now, everyone looks the same. And that same looks fucking stupid. And that is the cultural battleground. The culture war isn't just X and this and that. It's how they've managed to ruin us. And part of getting it back is to get it back. You know, you ain't an adult. You ain't an adult until you've had a suit made. Certainly not in terms of how you look. You don't have to pay $4,000. You know, you can get. If you go straight to the tailor and you can find them, go to Berwick Street in Soho and go don't look at the ground floor. Look at the one up above that. I suppose it's the first floor. You'll find little doors with steps that take you up there. And you can go in there and you can talk directly to the tailors and say, listen, this is my budget. I want a 2-piece suit made and a couple of shirts. And they'll negotiate with you. And then you go and source the cloth as well, because you don't want the tailor making money on the cloth. Now, you're not going to go to Holland and Sherry, but if anyone wants to do this, talk to me. I can tell you where to go and fucking wear it. When you're invited to a wedding, you've got a suit. You haven't got that fucking Burton's or Top Man one that you bought that makes you look like a fucking geography teacher. Packer, I'm finishing, mate. You've come in.
I know. Yeah, I just wanted to come in and say it's been a great show. I've been watching since Pax Max and Arklow was on, and it's been thoroughly interesting. But I'd have just sat there and said nothing. You know,
well, you say that, but because you weren't here, it's been one of those shows where I've just been on the ramble. Do you know what I mean? Listen to my voice. There's not a lot left. But, you know, I'm actually quite glad that you enjoyed watching a show, because you haven't for a long time. I bet you were sitting there thinking, oh, yeah, I used to do this quite a lot.
Yeah, well, I sat there quiet for quite a bit, but then I just couldn't not engage with the chat.
That's what happens to me when I'm on the sly watching Rags or 42 or Sensum or someone. Like when you named me, because none of them would. Sometimes I try and keep my mouth shut, but occasionally I'll draw attention to myself. Right, what are we going to do here? I know exactly what we're going to do here. We're going to turn that down. We're going to turn that down. So how have you been, Packer? All right?
Yeah, I've had a rough week at work. It's been ridiculous.
Yeah, me too. Well, in what respect?
Just nonsense. Just honestly, it's just ridiculous nonsense. It's been weird. It's been a bit surreal.
What, with the clients?
No. I don't want to, you know. Do you know what I mean? It's not anybody else's business anyway. So I'll just.
Fair enough.
Leave it at that.
P in the chat.
Other people involved. So.
Yeah, understood. All right, I'll leave you with that. Hello, Linda. Hello, Moody. You're all right, Pizzle. It's good to see you. Ban said cloth. Well, it's been lovely having you on, Packer. P in the chat, Packer, please, people. There you go. Look. See you later, Pax. Have a good weekend, mate. There you go. It was nice to see him, though, wasn't it? Let me just check entropy at the last minute. Blogs, no, we've done that one. I'll have a look at the old QR code. Nothing showing there. Terrible damn shame. Right, people. I'm going to dedicate this to my man Anglo. This is, oh no, I've got to get this right. I don't like the awkward silence I always get. And there will be one anyway, because I can never rack up the song correctly. I will be putting your messages on the screen as the music plays. Look after yourselves, people. Enjoy your weekend. Bless you all. Don't forget to tell the people you love that you love them, because they do need to know, and trust me, they love it. They love it. Tell them. Don't assume that they know. How lovely is it when the person you love just out of the blue says, I really love you. I sent my missus a text this morning. I said, you make me feel wanted. And she just rang me up with tears in her eyes. I mean, it's a beautiful moment. That's what life's about. A loveless life. A loveless life is a road to loneliness. Anyway, this is a bit of Bally G with Cold Vart. Nice one, Anglo. See you soon. Nice one, Chris. Well, this is for you, Anglo. Machano Capriccionata Tutu. I'll get my boat race off the screen and I will press play.
Tell your daddy you're fighting good. Feel the glory he said you would. Tell your mama you're coming home. Over all of that death syndrome. But you'll realize you've been sold when you feel the enemy's cold hard steel. Feel the dawn of your final day. Feel the fear and go anyway. Get a ride in that big black plane. Kill your conscience and numb your brain. But you'll realize you've been sold when you feel the enemy's cold hard steel. Cause the wheels already been rolled when you feel the enemy's cold hard steel.
Hello, Paul.
Hello, tell yourself it ain't really you. But when the slaughtering has begun, you'll be murdering someone's son. And you'll realize you've been sold when you feel the end.
It's a man thing to love women.
Enemies cold hard steel. Cause the wheels already been rolled when you feel the enemy's cold hard steel. Oh Lord, yes, you'll realize you've been sold when you feel the enemy's cold hard steel. Oh Lord, cause the wheels already been rolled when you feel the enemy's cold hard steel. Oh Lord, hey.
What? I was watching Tucker Carlson while I worked out this morning. Sufist, I've got nothing against charity shops. I've got nothing against. I don't care where you get your clothes from, but just think about how your appearance affects how you'll be treated in life, and think about how your appearance makes you feel about yourself. That's all. And also, if you've got a lover in your life, you owe it to her. Packer said, "Thanks for having me on." It's my pleasure, Packer. I've just checked entropy. No, we're good over there. We're good here too. Let me just refresh this. I might have a little surprise actually for the hardcore. Yeah, I think I will actually. Give us a second. Give me a second. I'm going to dedicate a tune to Pizzle. Right, people. We are going to have one more tune. It's quite a long one. And this is from a 90s band. And anyone who says in the chat, "Oh, auto-tune," yeah, we know. We were using it as an effect, not as an auto-tune. You understand? It was intentional. If you can't recognize that, it's bizarre. This is for Pizzle, and this is a tune by 90s Could Have Beens Household, and it's called Milk.
Strand lies, bang bangs about us. Be up, be on good, good to serve now life. The last, the final sweet gland, final surround us. Still knee deep and wet, knee deep and wet. Carbon encrusted, mercenary trusted, a fastening vice from tangent to negatives. A lot longing, forgotten, infested, a bleak solid air between us tested. The alleyway laughs at time and half, time and half. Splash, you can't come down now, you wouldn't want to. Spies, secret, immediate, amoeba, hilarious. Sheen means the sun stops whining, whining. Thatched roofs, the holes of many spiders, smile so wide we look inside her. The need for milk. The need for milk. The need for milk. The arch bends, bows, pull strings, pulling things to mark time, arbitrary, sublime, weak of random swine. Best leave now, dear bees, above the historical rub. This newfound embalming, new farming gold. This winter shade of hazy off brown knackers me. A girl I once knew nothing. A rupture suggests we better be as nothing to less than outburst in slow devotion. Slow devotion. As old rock dissolves, a shining example of love, and the need for milk. The need for milk. The need for milk. Of chemical shoals that all shoe withdrawals, sensitive, get it, flipping, slip you kid, evoking nothing but the need for milk. The need for milk.
I think old Suffist noticed that it had been hashtag drugs. I think Mumford done that for a laugh. Dawn, I didn't miss your comment. It went on the screen. You said you prefer to see Master Ben in his singlet and his boots. Now, I get that, but maybe not at someone's wedding or if you're going out for a meal somewhere, maybe, but okay. But, and also, Suffist, you said you hate wearing a suit. You can't wait to go home and take it off. Same here. When the suit don't fit, it's fucking awful. It grabs under your fucking armpits. It's all rough around your neck. Your bollocks are pulled up. Yeah, because we've been conned, and the likes of Burton and all those other fucking shops started selling off the peg. How is a suit supposed to fit you when it weren't made for you? That's like, that's why, people wear shoes and they're like, fucking hell, these shoes hurt. Well, that's because they weren't made to fit you. And they've been made out of cheap leather, and the sole isn't leather, and the leather's almost plastic, or if it's really cheap, it'll make your feet sweat. I get all that, but I don't know. I don't know why I get so much pushback on this. We're English men or Scottish men in Suffist's case, but I mean, it's probably the most nationalist thing I still talk about. But there you go. Listen, regardless, we can have a little. I understand my school uniform was like that, but the first time I had a suit made for me, it fit like a glove, and I couldn't stop wearing it, and I absolutely loved it. And now Barclay's got it, and you ask him about it. He sends me photos of him wearing it. And he said to me, the response he gets when he wears it is insane. Anyway, we're never gonna agree on this one, are we? Look after yourselves, people. I can't talk anymore, so I've got to go. Take care. Wait.